Hey, boys and girls, good evening and welcome to Cage Side with Christopher James live here on Fight Bananas. That's right, man. It's bananas, fucking bananas, I tell you. We are live tonight. I am in Tampa, Florida, as always. Good to have you guys on board. We've got a great show tonight for you guys. And that's weird. Why isn't this going to my... Hold on a second, guys. Oh, there it is. All right, cool. I was wondering why I wasn't showing up on my Facebook feed here for a second, but now it's there. So bear with me for just a second while I get this all set up. Welcome aboard, boys and girls. We had no UFC last weekend, no BKFC last weekend. However, we did have Last Man Standing, which was a boxing event. Anaheim, California, the Honda Center, sold out. I want to say that again, sold out. You know, putting these fight cards together is a difficult task to undertake. And, you know, being a promoter is sometimes a very thankless job. But I just want to give a special shout out to Dean Toole and his team, for everything they did to make this event come together. It was truly incredible. A lot of people didn't believe that this was going to draw numbers, but it did. It drew big numbers in the arena, and if the arena turnout is any indication of what this event did on pay-per-view, then I'm guessing that the whole night was successful for everybody at Last Man Standing Fanmio on the pay-per-view end. It also aired on UFC Fight Pass, and I believe it even showed up on DAZN. So, hats off to everybody involved, including all the fighters. They did an excellent job. You know, the only thing that went wrong that night was the result in the main event between Ori Masvidal and Nate Diaz. If you go back and look at the stats, Nate did not outbox Masvidal. Masvidal landed more strikes. The only area where Diaz was a little more successful was the amount of jabs landed. But Masvidal threw the more impactful punches all through the night. If you go back and look at the fight, look at the amount of punches that Diaz landed on gloves, you know, when Masvidal had his hands up and was blocking punches. It is really crazy to me, especially the scores. Let me pull this up real quick on my phone, because the scorecards were ridiculous. One judge had it 95-95. Hold on, I'm just going to pull this up because I want to make sure I get the numbers exactly right. 95-95, 97-93, and 98-92, all in favor. Well, the draw, obviously the draw judge, but the other two judges had it all in favor of Nate Diaz. I didn't see it. I had it 7-3 for Masvidal. And while some people will say, well, that's because, you know, I occasionally work for Masvidal, and I do. But I watched the fight. I watched the boxing match. I saw it take place in front of my eyes. I went back and rewatched it just to make sure that I wasn't crazy. And Masvidal won that fight. I don't know what the judges in California were thinking, but Masvidal won that fight. Also on that card, you know, and I could sit here and go off on it all day, but, you know, I don't have a lot of time to do that. But it was a majority decision for Diaz. They're now even 1-1. Masvidal has the win in MMA. Diaz has the win in boxing, and who knows if they'll run it back. Um, Another fight on the card that I really enjoyed was Shane Mosley Jr. defeating Daniel Jacobs via unanimous decision, 99-91, 99-91, and 100-90. And those cards were exactly right. Chris Avila defeated Anthony Pettis, 58-56, 59-55, 59-55. Again, a correct decision. Armando Vargas knocked out Sean Garcia, the little brother of Ryan Garcia, and then Ryan Garcia was escorted out of the building after the fight. Floyd Mayweather was there. There was a lot of people there. Sean O'Malley was on the commentary desk, along with Mauro Ranallo. And I got to tell you, Sean O'Malley impressed me in his commentary debut. You guys know I've never been a big fan of O'Malley. He can fight. He's awesome what he does. I just something about him just rubs me the wrong way, I guess. But take nothing away from him as a fighter. And maybe he has a future in commentary with the UFC after his fighting career is over, because he did a phenomenal job. Also, shout out to Devin Cushing, defeating, and Devin Cushing is going to be on the show with us tonight. He'll be on at 8:15 this evening. Also on the show tonight, Nathan Maness will join us in about 9 minutes. And Niko, the hybrid Price, will join us at 7:45 Eastern time. But shout out to Devin Cushing, defeated Manny Correa, 77-75, 78-74, 80-72. Those were the fights that I was looking for on this card. There's some other cards on here. Carmel Moton defeated Nikolai Buzolin, TKO round 2, 139. This Moton kid, I didn't really know anything about him ahead of time. But he looked impressive, and somebody to be taken serious as he continues to make his climb. I don't think he has a big record. I want to say it's only like 5-0 or 6-0 or something like that. I don't know off the top of my head. Boxing is not my number one sport that I follow, but he did a great job on a big stage. So congratulations to him. Congratulations to Dan Hernandez, Luis Lopez, Gabriel Costa, Bryce Logan, and Ken Lopez, all winners on the Gamebred on the card for Last Man Standing. Great job. Nate Diaz. You guys that follow me and have followed me for a long time know that I am not a big fan of Nate or Nick Diaz. I know a lot of people love those guys. They're like the anti-establishment fighters. They do what they want to do, when they want to do it, and all that stuff. But Nate Diaz came out and said he wants another shot at Leon Edwards. He wants a UFC title shot. I put up a post about it. In my opinion, and hats off to Nate for capitalizing on beating Conor McGregor a few years back. Because without that fight, these boxing matches with Jake Paul and with Jorge wouldn't even be taking place. That catapulted him, and he capitalized on it. Good for him. That was brilliant by him. But he's not a world beater. He never was a world beater. He's not worthy of a championship run. He's just not that guy. Him and his brother never shined bright in the bright lights. They just didn't do it for me. I understand they're popular with fans. I get it. But not this fan. If I'm just keeping it real with you guys like I try to do, not this fan. I'm not a big fan of either of those guys. Nick's getting a fight over in Abu Dhabi, I guess it is now. And he's taking on Vicente Luque. I expect Luque to beat his ass. Nick's just too far removed from the game. But Nate really has this idea about himself that he is a world beater. And I understand as a fighter, and I don't know one fighter that doesn't believe they can beat up anybody on any single day. So I don't really want to fault Diaz for having that confidence in himself, I guess. But on the same note, read the room, bro. Look at your record. You are not the guy. You are not him. You're never going to be him. You're talking about Leon Edwards, and listen, you landed one lucky punch against Leon. Yep, he wobbled a little bit, but he won that fight walking away from you, bro. That's just the reality of what we saw that night. So you're not that guy. You're just not him. So, you know, get these fights that you can now, these boxing matches, and these other things, influencer fights like you did against Jake Paul. You called for Jake Paul again. He already beat you once. You're not getting that fight again with Jake Paul. There's no reason for him to entertain it. The Woodley rematch was something that came up because of a situation. Otherwise, Woodley probably never would have gotten the rematch. So, that's it on the Nate Diaz front. Also, I saw some posts going on. I see my first guest. He's sitting there waiting. I see him. I'll be with you in just a minute, Nate. I saw a post going around on social media about who is the greatest bare knuckle fighting championship, specifically bare knuckle fighting BKFC fighter of all time. My answer is nobody at this time, and I put a post up about that. You guys can go to my page, Christopher J. Rothstein, and read the page. And I'll just, try to encapsulate it for you a little bit. I said nobody is worthy of that honor yet. 6 years into BKFC, there isn't a GOAT. Not yet. A couple of people brought up in the comments Lorenzo Hunt. I rebutted with, well, Lorenzo Hunt did accomplish a lot, as did Luis Palomino. Both guys became double champs. But after the drug test revelation in California, where Lorenzo Hunt popped off the radar, off the charts with his testosterone levels, and knowing that he wasn't completely tested in other states and other jurisdictions, you have to question his record. You have to question his accomplishments. Nobody is worthy of that yet. It's just not time. There are some great fighters out there, and I respect them all for going in there and doing what they do, because bare knuckle is a whole different animal than MMA and boxing, and it really is. And unless you've seen it live and experienced it, maybe you don't understand that. Maybe you need to go experience it live and check it out for yourself. I also took a shot at the Bare Knuckle Hall of Fame that's up in New York somewhere, because they're inducting people. They've been inducting people since BKFC started at BKFC 1. How are you inducting people into a Hall of Fame when their career is still ongoing? It doesn't make any sense. Giving out different awards and everything, and they were all partnered up with BKFC, and then they had a falling out because the guy that runs the Hall of Fame got put in his place by BKFC. They didn't want him being all stupid, flashy with his dumb suits and his ridiculous shoes, and forcing his way into the ring to put medals around the fighters and saying things like, well, every fighter I put a medal on, I have to have a special conversation that's just between me and the fighter. Listen, you were making it all about you. You're disrespecting the Hall of Famers in the actual Hall of Fame, and you're ridiculous. And no disrespect to any of the fighters that have gotten an induction to the Hall of Fame. I mean, if they gave it to you, take it. Why not, right? But if I'm being honest, the Hall of Fame is something that recognizes the entirety of your career. And all these bare knuckle fighters are still fighting, so it's ridiculous. I don't like it. I'll never advocate for it. And if anybody has a problem with that, feel free to, leave comments and I'll respond to them. But that's it. I'm going to go a minute early. I got my first guest. He's sitting there waiting. I've had him on before when I was doing Cage Side with Christopher James solo. He was on Fight Bananas with Dave Van Auken and Ella Dawson and Maddie Levine a few weeks ago before he fought at the UFC a couple weeks ago. And he's back with Cage Side with Christopher James. He is the man himself, Nate Maness, joining us Cage Side with Christopher James. My dog, what is going on, brother?
How's it going, man? How you doing?
Oh, I'm blessed, dude. I'm blessed to be here today, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I have no complaints.
Well, that's good, man. Well, you're looking good. Got the hat on backwards as usual. That's like your standard outfit. I like it. So before we get into your fight and your contract situation, I haven't talked to you in a long time. I want to get caught up with you. There she is. I was waiting for her to make an appearance.
It didn't take long.
There's Daddy's little girl. Hi, little mama.
Say hi. Or wave.
Hi.
Hi.
You look so beautiful.
Her mama's not
Um,
going to be happy that her hair is not done up real nice and pretty.
it's you're a fight dad. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Oh yeah, it comes with the
I
territory. It'll be all
it
right.
comes with the territory. Well, tell us how it is for you. I remember, when you announced that you were going to be a dad and all that stuff. And I know there was some crazy stuff going on in your life at that time. Life was just bouncing you around on the mat. You were up and down and all over the place. And then you announced that you and your wife were having a baby. And how's that been for you, man? Be transitioning to being a daddy, of your firstborn child.
Man, it's been an experience. I can't complain too much, man. I love her to death. I wouldn't trade her for the world. As far as it concerns, like fighting, I can understand why some guys, feel the need to go off and like do training camps other places. Being a family man and being a dad, that definitely takes its toll on you. It definitely takes time, especially when you're cutting weight and trying to train twice a day and run and lift and so on and so forth, man. It's been an experience. It's been a really big learning experience for me. But since she's got here, I'm 2-0. I guess she's my good luck charm. When she was pregnant with her, I went 0-2. So I'm glad that she's out. I'm glad she's here, and hopefully, good things on the horizon.
That's awesome. You were 0-2 when your wife was pregnant, 2-0
Yeah,
since she had the baby.
yeah.
So what we've learned from this situation is no more knocking up your wife until after your fighting career is over.
This one's the last one for me, brother. This is it.
That's what you're saying now, man. But there's going to come a point where you and Cassie sit down and you're going to want to talk about getting her little brother or little sister. I
Uh,
mean, it's bound to happen.
she already has an 11-year-old, so I think she's pretty set. So I don't have nobody in my ear wanting anymore. And this girl has completely beat me down. This one's it for me.
I forgot your wife has a child from a previous relationship that's 11 years old. How does that work out with the little one? How do they get along? Does the older one really love the little baby sister and all that good stuff?
Yeah, he's old enough now that he can kind of help us out and go play with her in her room and things like that. They love each other to death. I think that's probably her favorite person. But they do like to annoy each other too. They like to pick on each other. They'll push each other's buttons. They're gonna have a long, good experience with each other. They're funny together.
Does she speak at all yet?
Yeah, she can say quite a few words, probably 30, 40 different words, things
Okay.
like that. Like she can walk and jump, run, but she's going to be really shy. She probably won't say anything here. You say hi? Can you say hi?
Hi,
Nothing?
hi, little
She
mama.
is shy. She gets that from me more than her mama.
I think by the time this interview's over, maybe we'll get her to say hello to us. I hope she does. But she's
Yeah.
so beautiful. She's looking at the camera like, what's going on here, man? Who's this guy talking to my dad with the gray beard and the funny face and the glasses? That's what she's saying right now. She's like, where's my mom?
This is her first interview, so you got that going for you.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, it's cool. I've had a couple of firsts, like Derek Minner, former UFC fighter. We had an interview scheduled with him, and his wife went into labor, so he did his interview from the hospital. And
That's commitment right there.
yeah, and the first time on my show, I always ask everybody to sing.
Yeah, yeah.
So he sang "Happy Birthday" to his little girl, holding her in his arms the day she was born, live from the hospital room. It was truly a cool moment. I got Niko Price coming on a little later. He's got 6 kids. His kids pop on the show and they come by like flying by with like knives in their hand. They live out in the country in that southwest Florida,
Right.
and his kids are all country kids and they don't fuck around. So,
Right, right.
uh,
No, no
so
doubt.
I saw the one kid one day walking by, just he's got long hair like Tarzan, and he's coming by with a knife in his hand, and I'm just like, interesting take at the Price House. We need to make a TV series about the Price life. The Price is life, something like that. I told him I'll
Right.
come down there. I told him I'll come down there and film the show.
Man, I'll tune in. That sounds pretty crazy, to be
Yeah,
honest with you.
I think it would be a big hit. Let's see. So you had your recent fight, Jimmy Flick. I had Jimmy Flick on my show because I was going to bring you on, but Fight Bananas had just had you on, so it didn't make sense for me to do another show on Fight Bananas with you.
Yeah.
I was a little jealous. I was like, man, they got my boy Nate, those fuckers.
I did tune into you and Jimmy's interview a little bit. I heard some
Yeah.
of y'all stuff. Yeah.
Jimmy's a good dude. I like him a lot. It's always difficult for me because I like you. You know how I like you. You know, we've shared meals together down here in Florida when you've been on vacation.
Yeah.
I consider you more than just a fighter I can interview, but I actually consider you a friend. I've watched you. Like I said, you went through some crazy stuff a few years ago, and I was there for all that stuff. And um, just watching your career, go the way it's going. But I like Jimmy. Jimmy, that was the first time Jimmy was on my show, but I've always followed him. I thought he was a cool cat, very level headed, down to earth, uh, and like you, he just wants to go out there and fight, put on the best performances he can. So when these matchups happen and it's two guys I really like, I get a little right in here in my heart. I'm like, oh man,
Uh-huh.
why they got to fight each other? You know what I'm saying? Because I like them both and I want to root for them both and I can't root for them both. So then I root for nobody. And it just becomes like, hopefully they both walk out injury free, and may the best man win that night. Um, but Jimmy Flick's a tough guy. His grappling is off the charts. And you never allowed him to get into that mode. So take us through from your eyes how that fight went.
Yeah, I'll start off by saying, man, Jimmy's a super cool dude. I've only met him just the one time, but we talked at weigh-ins. We met each other on fight day morning. We are getting breakfast at the same place. Talked and hung out, and man, I have all the respect in the world for Jimmy. He's a fighter's fighter, and I respect that more than technicians or this or that. Not to say he's not skilled, but you're gonna have to take him out. He's a dog. He's gonna be in the fight, and he was talking to me the entire fight too. Every time I'd land something, good jab, man, good right hand, good takedown defense. It's just a little different for this fight, but I just want to give Jimmy his props and his respect. But yeah, man, as far as the fight went, I felt really good in there. I didn't like being such a big favorite. The minus, it got up to maybe minus 700 on a few sites, and that brings a different kind of pressure that I wasn't prepared for, and I didn't think that I would feel. You kind of feel like nothing you can do will be enough to warrant a minus 700. You just got to go out there and smoke a guy. Um, the first round I felt like was too close. I was actually a little upset at myself during the fight in the corner, thinking that it was too close and I should get this guy out of here. But watching back, I thought I controlled the fight. I thought I dominated the fight. I outlanded him 3-1, 2-1 in significant strikes. Defended 7 of the 8 takedowns. Had just as many submission attempts as he had, and he's the submission guy. So watching it back, felt a lot different than inside there, and I'm pretty happy with the performance.
Yeah, I thought you did a great job not allowing him to really pin you up against the cage panel. You actually had him up against the cage panel. You were doing your thing. I expected from you a little more striking to come from you.
Yeah,
But I understand, from where I watch, and when I say I understand, I don't understand like a fighter understands because I'm not a fighter. But from my years of experience covering the sport, I understand that while you're a striker and he's a predominantly a grappler and a submission specialist, you always think going in that the striker is going to just be able to unleash, but it's not that easy as you say. You want to unleash. You're a better
yeah,
striker than your opponent, but you have to do things along the way to, put your game plan into place. And your opponent is always going to try and negate that. So I was a little bummed on your end that I didn't see more of that real crisp striking that I know you bring.
yeah.
But you had to do what you had to do to secure the victory.
Yeah, man, and a big thing with that was like Malcolm Gordon was, smoking Jimmy and ends up getting taken down and submitted. I feel like we've seen that a few different times where Jimmy's really getting touched up, and then he pulls out a submission. He was even agging me forward, telling me to come forward and throw with him. I feel like he was just looking for the takedown. I felt really good with my takedown defense, but I didn't want to give him any extra opportunities, not to go in too deep and him really get underneath my hips. He's obviously really good on the ground. It was my contract fight, the last one on there. I don't want to, no excuses, nothing to blame. I just wanted to get out there with a win. I definitely know I could have opened up more and more combos. I just got a clean win, and I just needed that one for the contract, and hopefully get another one here soon. But we'll see.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. You said he was talking to you the whole time of the fight. Does that bother you? Did that throw you off your game a little bit when he's chatterboxing to you?
I think it actually makes it easier. When you talk to a guy beforehand or anything that kind of lets you know that they're still just a human being too. You know what I mean? You're just talking back and forth, talking about breakfast or what we're going to do after weigh-ins or after the fight. It just kind of lets me know that you're just a person too. You're going to feel the same nerves I'm feeling. Just another guy in there, next to you competing. So actually, it kind of helps me. If anything, it definitely doesn't make it hard.
Yeah, I think I'd get irritated. I'd be like, "Shut the fuck up, dude! Stop
Man,
fucking
his
talking to me.
corner.
Hit me, strike me, do something, take me down. Shut the fuck
You
up,
can
fight."
hear a lot of things in the apex, and this is the first time that the corner has kind of annoyed me. Every time he would throw anything there, yeah, you're wearing him down with that. He doesn't want that. He can't hang with you, and stuff wasn't even landing. So that was a little annoying. That was the first time I've really had to experience that.
Well, my buddy, Mr. Fightman had himself, David Van Auken is watching. He said Nate is the man. Yeah, Dave, we already knew this. Me and Nate go back, bro. I've known Nate was the man since Nate became the man. So there you go. Question from the crowd, from Forrest. Nate, what did you learn most from the Umar Nurmagomedov loss? He's supposed to be the next big thing. Appreciate you, brother, and God bless.
Oh man, it's hard to take away too many good things just because I am so focused on winning and performing well, and I feel like I did it there. I think it let me know sometimes you got to go after these guys, especially these super skilled guys. You have to force the error in their ways. They're not going to make mistakes by themselves. You got to have to go in there and force those mistakes. It also let me know I can survive. I got decent ground defense and things like that. You can't just hold me down and submit me and things like that. I went 3 threes with Umar. Not too many people can say that they've done that.
That's true.
I would definitely change some things in the fight. I'd be more aggressive. I'd get in his face. I'd make him, respond a little bit differently. I would take more chances in getting off the ground and not try to survive as much. I guess that would be things that I've learned from it. Hopefully nobody else puts me in that situation.
And it's funny. That was, I believe that was your third fight in the octagon. And nobody was stepping up to take that fight with him, and you did. As you look back now in retrospect, in hindsight, if you will, did you and your team maybe take that fight earlier than you should have because you wanted to be a company guy and show up and show out because, that's how you get recognized in the UFC?
Man, to be honest with you, no, I accepted it within 5 minutes of hearing it. There was no talks about, I want to make the UFC happy. I'll do this for them, be the company guy. I was at the drive-through, I think at Dairy Queen at the drive-through, and my manager texted me, Pat, and I said, yeah, let's do it. I never looked at him. I barely knew who he was, and even if I did, this is just kind of our job. I don't pick between fights. I've accepted every one that they've sent me, and I would do it all over again. I would just do a little bit different in the fight.
Gotcha. And I'm looking at your record. You're 16-3. And your two biggest losses obviously came inside the octagon, both against guys with a V at the end of their name. So if Pat, you're watching, no more V's at the end of the fighter's name for Nate right now. Let's just get him other names. No more Nurmagomedovs, no more Ulanbukovs. No, I'm just
We've
playing,
had
man.
this conversation.
It's like, damn. I mean, and who knows if the Jalga Zhumagala fight had come to fruition. What the fuck? I mean,
Yeah,
what's the
right.
UFC doing? Give me somebody without a V on their name, for Christ's sakes. But then they gave you a good old American boy like Jimmy Flick, and that's all right. That worked out well for you. And then, of course, you're on a 2-fight streak with Mateus Mendonca that you beat him ground and pound.
Yeah.
But you had mentioned your contract. You fought out your contract. You're 5-2 in the octagon.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a winning record, and we're still waiting to hear if they're going to re-sign you. So maybe you can update us on the situation right now, as far as where the contract talks are, if there are ongoing contract talks. We want to know.
Yeah, I don't know how much I can say. I'll just kind of present my case, I guess.
Okay.
I'm 5-2. 3 finish bonuses. I've taken on the Umars, the Tagirs. On my first cut to 25. I've accepted everyone. I've fought only at the Apex, saving them money. I feel like I've done my part for sure, and we haven't had an official contract offer. I'm trying to step around and not blow my chances here, but things have gone on behind the scenes. There have been talks. We've been in contact with the UFC. We're still waiting on that offer. I don't know if it'll come or not, but I know we've done everything to earn that contract, and if they don't, that's on them and that's their loss.
All right. So, and again, we don't want you to get yourself in trouble, but they're not watching my show. Let's just be honest. Dana sometimes tunes in, messages me later, go, good show. No. If he was ever watching me, he'd probably smack me in the face because I've said some stuff about him that maybe I shouldn't have. My stance on Dana has softened over the years, because working with Dean Toole, I have so much of a better understanding of what a promoter or matchmaker really goes through, and to do it at the highest level that Dana has for so long. I pulled back a little bit on some of the stuff I've said about him. I just wish he would pay all the fighters more. And if the UFC doesn't want to do it, just do it from your gambling winnings, Dana. You're a big baller at the table, man. You know what I'm saying, bro?
I've heard the stories.
So it's got to be frustrating for you, because you've taken every fight they've offered you. And like you said, you've got 3 fight of the night bonuses, performance bonuses. You're 5-2, so you're on the winning side of a record in the UFC. It's got to be frustrating right now, I guess, for you and your team to not have the contract offer, like, right after you won. Why didn't they come to you and say, all right, man, we really like what you're doing. Let's renew right away, give you a new 3-fight deal or 4-fight deal, whatever they're going to offer. So how many days now are you out of contract?
As soon as the fight ended, that was my contract. I think next Monday is the when the exclusive negotiation period ends, and I can talk to other organizations. They can still offer after that, and they can match and things like that.
They have rights to match, of course.
Yeah.
If the UFC doesn't extend an offer, and I hate to say those words out loud, but that's the reality we're looking at right now. They may not extend an offer. If they do not extend an offer, do you have a particular spot where you would like to land? Would it be PFL or, as Dana refers to it, PFLator now, which I fucking love PFLator. When he said that at a press conference, I almost crapped my pants. But PFLator, possibly entertain going to bare knuckle fighting championship, going to 1, because 125, that weight class is very popular over in the Asian area of the world. Or have you not really thought about it because your brain is focused on returning to the UFC and continuing your octagon journey?
Man, at this point we have talked about it. I'm definitely interested in BKFC or Game Bread. It would take a little bit of talking to for my wife and mother to get on board. That's still not in the bag yet, but I'm interested in it. I'm also interested in PFL. I think their lowest class is 145. Talked about maybe just getting a little bigger, and I've competed there before. I've competed at 55. Maybe just being the faster, in shape guy. It's at least an opportunity and something that I could work towards. I'm not ready to be done competitively yet, so I don't know about 1. I don't know about traveling a whole lot. I've never really wanted to travel, even when the UFC goes to Abu Dhabi or something like that. It's never really been my thing. But if they made a good offer and it's something that I couldn't turn down for my family, we would do it. Obviously, it depends on if these companies want me to, but we've definitely talked about it.
Right. And, the big thing I picked up out of what you just said was you're not really into the traveling, right? Listen, let me give you some old man advice. Um, how old are you right now, Nate?
Just turned 33.
Okay. So you're still a young man. I'm 55. Um, if your job, any job, whether it be fighter, or doctor or whatever career path you chose, if the company that you work for wants to pay for you to see the world, go. I'm telling you right now, go. Take the trips when they offer, if there's a fight offered to you overseas by any promotion, take the trip. Go experience the world, man. Um, we live in the United States and beautiful country. I love my country. But there's so much to see out there in the world. And one of my favorite things about doing what I do as a ring announcer is I've gotten to see some pretty cool shit.
Yeah.
I used to work on a cruise ship a long time ago because the money was cool and I was a lot younger and I was single, so it was a lot of fun. um, but I was seeing the world for free. I was getting paid to see the world.
Yeah.
I know it's a little harder to do when you have the baby and the wife and the
Yeah.
11-year-old and all that stuff, and you have to get your family on board to do it. But man, if wherever you land, if they offer you a fight over in Abu Dhabi, go to fucking Abu Dhabi, dude. Go see it, man. It's one of those places that everybody says you have to experience.
Yeah.
Um, if I can afford to ever, get my act together financially, I want to take my wife to Abu Dhabi. I don't
Yeah.
care if I go for, I mean, I'd like to go for a fight, but I don't know if I'm going to
Yeah.
get to work over there, but I'm going to take my wife because that's one of those places.
Yeah.
So go, especially if somebody else paying for it, bro. You know, and what
Yeah.
you do it smart. Like, the UFC will pay for you and a cornerman. So just go with one
Right.
cornerman. Do you really need three cornermen? You don't need three cornermen, especially when you're going overseas. Take one cornerman. The UFC
That's true.
covers everything. It doesn't come a dime out of your pocket,
Right.
and you go. Enjoy some of the world, man, because you know what? You're going to get old, and then those opportunities aren't going to be there the same way. And then you're going to go, man, I should have did it when I was younger. So,
Yeah, I
um,
just don't know if I would appreciate it. Feel like I would if I was at like 145 or something. At 125, I just don't think I would even care about it. I think I'd just be unappreciative, just mad, hungry, not caring about nothing else. Maybe if the PFL starts traveling and I get in with the PFL at 145, I feel like I'd really enjoy it. But 125, I don't want to see nothing. I just want to see food, really.
Yeah, but the cool thing is, and I put money on it that when you got there, that whole thought process you have now would change because you'd
I'm
be
sure
like,
it
you
would be
know what, man?
definitely
Yeah, I'm a little miserable cutting weight, but I'm gonna go climb up the
yeah.
Khalif
Right.
Tower and go to the tallest building in the world and take a view, and go down this cool slide and see the indoor aquarium, crazy stuff. I mean, there's so much there. I mean, Abu Dhabi is on my bucket list. I have to go there
Yeah.
one day.
I think it would
Um,
be pretty cool once I actually got there for sure.
Yeah, or screw it with your next fight bonus. Grab the wife, grab the kids, and take a trip.
Just bring them on. There you go.
Get out of the country, bro. Go see the world, man. It's definitely that something you don't want to miss out on.
Yeah.
Um, so no contract. PFL, as you just said, would be a cool landing spot for you. But you said 145. So if you were to change promotions, you're getting out of the 125 division, it sounds like.
Yeah, and I think PFL their lowest class is 145, so I don't think they go any lower. For one, obviously I would still do 125, but if I were to fight for regional promotions and things like that, I'd probably at least go back up to 35. Just it's just not worth the cut down to make chump change, and nobody really care about your win in the first place. Um, so it'd kind of be hard to do. 135 would probably be regional, and one would be 25. PFL would be 45.
Well, I hope, obviously, you're a fighter. So, if they don't come knocking and you need to fight, you're going to take a fight on the regional scene if you have to make a little bit of money. But my opinion is you're beyond the regional scene right now. And I'm not saying that to fill your head, with ego. I'm not saying that as your friend. I'm just looking at your UFC record. You're 5-2. And if it was flipped, if you were 2-5, okay, go back to the regional scene,
Yeah,
get
yeah,
some seasoning and try to work your way back,
yeah. Right.
but you're not. So, from my expert opinion, um, I think you belong in one of the top promotions on the planet right now. I obviously think the UFC should just, offer up that contract. Pat Wilson, if you're watching, let's get her done, son.
We're working on it for sure. He's
Yep.
been working hard
Oh,
for
I
me, and I
know he's
appreciate
definitely
it.
working tirelessly for you, I'm sure.
Yep.
All right, let's see. We'll get some other comments. Um, I'm going to put up this one because this shines on you and me. This is the best Nathan Maness interview I've ever seen. Thanks, Forrest. We appreciate that. Nate in the PFL would be a massive success story financially and spiritually. Nathan Maness in one or PFL, and then when he's too old to compete to do gimmicky boxing or bare knuckle.
Fair enough.
PFL do events in Europe, and one is all over the place. Nate has been a success in the UFC. Imagine what it'd be like for $1 million in the PFL. That's definitely something, that's a motivator right there.
Yeah,
Um,
100.
and why in the shit did the UFC not negotiate? You finished most of your fights in the UFC. You're 5-2 in the UFC. UFC is stupid. They're greedy and they want to pay people nickels. So you got some people on your side that really agree that you should be back in the UFC. And I'm one of them at the top of the list. Like when we get done with the show now, I'm going to go on a Twitter, going to get my Twitter fingers up, and I'm going to say, hey, let's get Nate back in the UFC. Not Nate Diaz, Nate Maness. You guys, I'm not advocating for Diaz. I just want to be clear if that wasn't earlier on the show. So, let me ask you about UFC 303. The craziness that went on for Diego Lopez. Going from Brian Ortega at 145 to Brian Ortega at 155 to Dan Ige 3 hours fucking before he's supposed to make the walk. Give me your take on that from a fighter's perspective and how you would have responded in that situation had you been Diego Lopez.
Man, first off, I didn't think that was possible. Even from the regional scenes all the way up, I thought once weigh-ins were over, it was pretty much set in stone. I've never seen anyone come in on fight day and them not be licensed already and all that good stuff to just come in and fight. So that's pretty
Well,
crazy in the first place.
the good thing about that was Ige was fighting in July in
Yeah, so
Vegas.
he's already
So he
licensed.
had already did his doctor stuff. He did his medicals. He's got his license all intact, eye work and everything. The only thing that they had to do was weigh him.
Yeah,
And I'm sure they drug tested him too on site,
yeah,
And the governor actually had to step in and approve this fight.
really.
Yes, sir.
I
True
didn't know
story.
that. Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm sure, man, we all respect, kind of what Ige did and everything. Like you said, he was already had a fight coming up. He was in camp. He kind of just got, the fist fight without having to cut weight and do the hard stuff. I know that sounds like a big sacrifice. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but
Of course.
Diego Lopez deserves everything. You're fighting a fresh guy who has cut no weight, is coming in at 65, completely fed up. He's been training, he's been getting ready. That's a tough fight, man. And to still come away with the win, it's all respect from my side.
It's crazy that it really is crazy that he did that. It's never happened in the history of the promotion. And like you said, I've been in this game for quite some time and I've never seen anything like that happen on a professional show anywhere else. I've seen it in the Emmys, in the Emmys is a whole different world, it's like,
No,
oh, fucking you in the stands, you want to fight?
yeah.
Come on down. I mean,
Pull
let's
this
just
guy.
go
Yeah.
fucking crazy. But never in the pro.
Yeah.
Um, so it was definitely an interesting situation. What did you think of the fight?
I thought the fight was really good. Diego started to fade, towards the end. I'm sure that has something to do with the weight cutting. And Ige, I thought he won the third. He came in strong. He's got a fresh gas tank. But I mean, Lopez handled his business, especially round 1 and 2. Fighting a completely different guy. Ortega's more of a grappler. Ige is more of a power puncher. I thought he did really well.
What did you think of that whole card overall?
I thought it was pretty good. MVP and Ian Gary could have been a little bit better, but I kind of expected them to try to do more of a grappling based attack. Alex Pajeda looks good every single time we see him. Man, he's
Guy's
just
fucking beast.
he just came in and decided, to be the best, and that's just all he did. 9 fights and just smacked everybody. It's pretty
And
crazy.
he's a multi-division champion, and he's defended now at light heavyweight. Fucking incredible. I see you, Niko. I see you sticking your tongue out at me, dog. Hang on one second, bro. But yeah, it was crazy, the performance, dude. And I saw it coming. I saw the kick coming. I was just like, oh my God, here, bit over.
Yeah.
What fights coming up are you looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to Sean O'Malley and Marab. That's always going to be a fun fight.
I think Marab's winning that fight.
Yeah, I could 100% see that. I think that's what makes it so exciting. We're really not sure. So I feel like Sean O'Malley's a lot stronger than we've given him credit for, especially when Aljo got him against the cage and couldn't, just pull him off real easy.
Right.
And his grapplings look good. He's had grappling matches against Takanori Gomi and Gilbert Melendez. I think it's an interesting fight. If I had to just pick one, that's the fight I'm looking forward to.
That's awesome, man. Well, listen, brother, I appreciate you taking the time. Here's another comment for you. Maness for the sphere. He's earned his spot. UFC, give him the contract. Let's fucking go. Yeah. And before you go, I don't know if this is going to work right, but I'm going to bring in my other guest. He's following behind you, my guy, Niko Price. And then I'm going to bring him in because I want to ask him a question about you. So we're going to bring him in right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Niko, the hybrid Price, jumping in. There he is. Niko, what's up, dog?
What it do?
What it do? What it do? I was telling him, he messaged me, told me, this is Nate Maness, this is Niko Price, if you guys haven't met.
How's it going?
Nate's a 125er in the UFC. Well, waiting for a contract to be offered to him to re-up. But he messaged me earlier about kids. He goes, I'm going to have my daughter, and she's probably going to show up on the show. And I'm like, I had Niko Price on the show. His kids walking around with a knife behind him and shit like that. But
Yeah. That's my little Micah man. He's crazy.
He's crazy. But the reason I brought you on a second early with Nate, maybe you can give some insight to this, because I don't remember if you've gone through this the same way. He's 5-2 in the UFC. He's got 3 performance bonuses. He's fought everybody they've asked him to fight. And he had his last fight a couple weeks ago. It's Jimmy Flick. He got another win. And they haven't made an official contract offer yet. Have you gone through this yourself, where you had to wait for them to make this contract offer, and maybe any advice you could pass on to this young buck here?
Yeah, I'm actually waiting right now to get a hold of Shelby again for another contract. So yeah, I am going through it. So it's patience, man. They show your worth when they call you back. So
right. I appreciate it.
Just pray to God.
Just
pray.
Yeah.
And if they end up not wanting you, I mean, there's options out there, but everyone wants to be in the UFC. It's the biggest show in the world, That's why we're all here. We all bust our butt and we whoop some ass for our kids. Because I got 7. I got 1 on the way right now. I don't know
Whoa! You got another one coming?
Yeah, man. I got no reverse lights. I need one of those beep beep beeps. I don't have it.
Dude, you need to go get snipped.
Yeah, I already declared that's gonna be a birthday present of mine.
That's a birthday present.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, we're gonna get into all that with you here in just a second, Niko. Nate, always a pleasure to see you, brother. Fucking, I love you and your family. Your little girl is so gorgeous. She didn't say hi to us, but hi, little mama. Bye, little mama. It was nice to see you. Oh. And you have a great day. And listen, as soon as you get contract news, message me or tell Pat to message me. We'll bring you back on and we'll celebrate the contract wherever you may land. I hope it's back with the UFC. You've earned your spot there. So keep the head up and stay positive. And as always, dude, from the heart, much love.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that, man. Love you guys. I appreciate you having me on, and I'll definitely send you that info.
All right, brother. Be good, and we'll talk soon.
You too, man.
Peace.
All right, boys and girls, we are done with Mr. Nate Maness. He's a great guy. And we just had breaking news on the show. Niko Hybrid Price is having his 7th child.
Hey.
I remember talking to Niko in Tampa at the Spider Hotel when he was on number 5, and he said that was it. And then along came number 6, and now here comes number 7. What we're going to do is we're going to create a pool, and we're going to go Niko Price and his wife Erica over under on an 8th child, just to have an even number. So we're going to get those odds rolling out there. I'm going to talk to my guys in Vegas, and we're going to get some odds on that. Maybe we can make some cheddar.
Well, let me know what y'all are betting, and I can make anything happen.
No, we can't tell you our bets, because then there's insider trading, and then the book don't pay. So we're just gonna have to.
Come on.
I'm gonna go over 8 because you're you, dude. I mean, you get next to your wife and she gets pregnant. I mean, it's just that simple.
Overachiever. Hey, don't come next to me either, because if you come next to me, then your wife might get pregnant. Not from me, because I make everybody fertile.
Oh. So she's sitting over there working at her desk right now. So Niko said that I can't even stand next to him anymore because if he stands next to me, you'll get pregnant. Not from him, from me, but because he makes everybody fertile myrtle.
That's right. I make it contagious.
Oh my God. No, we're done with kids. I got a 5-year-old grandson running around here. He's enough. I cannot handle having a baby right now. But yeah, and her birth control is fucking stellar, dude. I don't have to beep, beep, beep on the way out because I'm protected, bro. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, congratulations on your last fight. Nice
Thank
win. Alex Moreno, is a tough guy in the division. He's been around. So this was definitely a win. As I'm looking at your record, hasn't been well for you over the last 6.
Yeah.
You're 2-4. But you fought some killer. I mean, Michelle Pereira. You lost to Phil Rowe. You lost to Robbie Lawler.
I won that one.
Which one?
The Michelle one. I definitely won that one. In my eyes, I won that one.
Of course. All right, so I'll give you
and
that
I
W.
Like Phil. Phil got me at that last second.
He did get you. I was telling Nate, I was talking to Nate about fights because he had to fight Jimmy Flick, and I like both guys a lot. You and Phil, when they booked that fight, you and Phil are two of my people. You're not just fighters to me. You're like my Florida people. We go back, and we've experienced some cool stuff together. And I was not happy that fight was booked, not at all. But it's a fight. It's part of the business. You got to fight these guys, who they put in front of you. But I was so sad, and I would have cried either way, whoever won, whoever lost. And that's how I felt. Like I saw Phil beat you and I teared up, I got tears in my eyes because I'm like, man, Phil, beat up everybody else. Don't beat up Niko. And then I was saying, why couldn't this fight just end in a fucking draw and everybody goes home, fucking gets their checks and goes home.
No, I'm glad it didn't because one of us needed to win. The way I look at it, we're friends, like one of us had to get the dub check. If not, it would have been another Donald Cerrone moment for me where it's like, what the fudge?
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it, man. So take us through your fight with Alex. How'd you work that out? Did it go the way you expected it to? Did you have to make some adjustments on the fly, because of his style?
I was supposed to fight Jeremiah Wells.
I remember.
And then I woke up one morning and my cousin goes, so who are you fighting? And I'm like, I'm fighting Jeremiah. And then she goes, no, he just broke his foot or something. Like, he started walking around with a boot. And I was like, what? And I went on his Instagram and I'm like, he's in a boot and it has X's on the whole thing. I'm like, what? And then I messaged Shelby. I'm like, hey, are we going to get someone for me to fight? Because it's already been 11 months without a fight. I was like, my bank's hurting. I got a bunch of jits I got to take care of, Kids ain't cheap.
They are
kids
not.
cost money. Like, and then I said, I don't care who you get, anybody. And then literally by, what was it? 1 o'clock that day, which would be like 11 o'clock in Vegas.
Right.
I got a message or an email. Morano, it was the contract and everything. Are you cool with that? I said, thank you so much. Yes. I didn't, I don't think about it. It's you send me a name, I'm gonna fight whoever the hell you send me. I'm not over here cherry picking people. That's why my record isn't like OMG, because I'm not sitting there saying, no, I don't want that guy. I don't want the guy. I want the guy. I want this guy. No, man, I'm not trying to. I want a legacy of beating whoever you put in front of me. Sometimes you get put in there with a wild bull and the bull gets your ass. As simple as that.
That's true.
But yeah, no, once I saw Alex and I saw that he said he wanted to fight me, I was like, yes, let's go. I'm down. I want to get that W back anyway because they took it from me because I used to smoke a lot. And I didn't get it out of my system. I haven't smoked in a year now.
Wow.
I don't smoke anymore. Like, so it's whatever. But I mean,
Yeah.
I
Fuck
want
it.
to get my dub back. Simple as
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and that was a very important win for you, as you said you're waiting for a new contract from the UFC.
Yeah.
Now, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but you've basically self-managed yourself over the years with the UFC.
Yeah.
Are you still doing that, or have you signed on with the management company now?
I'm looking into a few right now. I'm looking into All In and a couple other guys. But I gotta I'm not like I can't just jump in. The last 3 managers I've jumped into all went south on me.
Right.
Like I didn't get what I wanted. I didn't get this. They're asking for shit that they never said was in the contract. Like I'm like, no, this ain't happening. So I'm like thoroughly going through All In right now. I'm looking at them right now, but they seem really solid people. So like Vic is a good looking dude. Like he has a family. I don't mean it like good looking, you know what I'm saying?
I know.
He looks like a good person.
And
some people might call him good
and
looking.
if you meant it that way, there's nothing wrong with that either, man. Fucking there's nothing wrong with telling them. Hey, listen, it's 2024, and honestly, there's nothing wrong with saying that. That's a good looking guy right there. I mean, fucking, it doesn't mean you're wanting to be with that guy, but you can acknowledge that this guy's good looking.
He dresses well. No, but we have a lot in common too. He has 5 kids. He has a big family. He's a successful dude. So like, I'm really thinking about it right now with them, and yeah. So I'll see what happens. I'm praying a lot on it right now.
What is their relationship with the UFC, if one at all? Because All In is I'm not overly familiar with them and the people that run them. So I don't know, whereas I know Sucker Punch is, huge, they got great connection in the UFC.
Yeah.
Iridium has tons of guys in the UFC. They have a good relationship working with them. First Round Management, again, some of the bigger companies that really do, dominance, which is Ali. I can't ever see you working with Ali though, so I'm taking that one right off the table. But what's the relationship that you know of that they have with the UFC? Because in my opinion, that's got to factor into your decision reaching out to bring a manager on board, because you have to pay this guy.
Yeah, they have a couple. They don't have like a big UFC roster, but they have a lot of guys in multiple other places. Most of their stuff's in the BKFC, but I'm trying to stay in the UFC. Like
Right.
I don't want to go to another organization and ruin my chances with the promotion that I've worked my whole life to get into.
But how long do you wait? I mean, that becomes a question, because like you said, you've got 6 kids running around and number 7 ready to drop out. When's this new one due?
December 24th.
Okay, so you got a few months before this one pops. This will be a Christmas morning, baby. That's just a blessing. So
yeah, I have I think the 13th and the 30th.
Gotcha.
December. I have 2 other December babies.
Nice.
So that must be my month. What's 9
must
before
be your
that?
month. Well, let's see. So it's like March,
March,
April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So maybe you just need to stay away from your wife during the month of March.
Right? No more March is hanging.
All right, but back to the question. So this is going to be child number 7. How long can you afford to wait? I know you, and we're going to talk about this other thing. You got your bait business, which I want to get into a little bit. But but how long can you wait on your fight career before you have to, fight somewhere else outside of the UFC?
So I won. I got a good chunk of change. And I'm not like tearing their ears off yet. So I mean, I'm just gonna have patience. Everything's in God's time, not mine. So, and I'm down. I got other things working outside of the UFC. I got the bait mobile. I got my pressure washing company that I can work with. Um, when you win, a lot more people want pressure washing. I haven't even been checking my messages, but I did the other a day or two ago, and I saw a couple people that wanted jobs done. And I was like, oh, okay. So now you guys want some jobs done. But hey, I ain't gonna turn down a job. I just gotta respond to them.
All right,
And,
well, make sure you get on those because you got eight mouths to feed now.
The other things I was looking into is like our area is we don't have much police officers. I've been wanting to be a cop my whole life. That's what got me into MMA.
How old are you now?
34.
I think you're still acceptable.
Yeah, and I'm sexy, so I should definitely get the job.
That goes without saying, bro. I mean, duh.
396 stitches. I'm beautiful.
Beautiful.
Crooked nose, lazy left eye.
Let's see. Marlon Moraes, who fought in the UFC, just became a cop down in Davie, Florida. I think he's around your age. So, yeah, it's definitely a possibility. I can't see you. I can't see you doing it. It's like one of those things like Officer Price. I just
sounds good though. The benefits I can see doing.
Yeah, definitely, man. Oh, it'd be great. Well, that's a cool career, an honorable career. So it's something to definitely look into. But it's one of those careers where now you're 34, you can't wait. Like you got to make this decision before that baby gets here to decide if you're going to do that because you're gonna age out. At some point, 35 might be the age out. And I'm sure they'll take into consideration you're obviously you'll be able to handle yourself on the streets.
I'm fit.
Yeah, because you could definitely fight. So you could, take down any guy or girl. You've learned how to defend yourself from knives coming flying by because of your kids. So yes. I mean, it's really
Dude, I got hit with a machete the other day.
What?
Yeah, by my son.
Which one?
The one with the knife. Hey, Dad, check this out. He swings it back and hits me right in the arm. I'm like, dude, thank God that was a Dolan.
Oh.
It just hit me. I'm like, oh. Good thing I reflexes, got my face out of the way.
Yeah, it's a good thing because, that's your money makers right here. You can't, he can hit you in the face. You can take some stitches up on the face, but you need these to go to work. You need these to go to work.
I stitch myself nowadays. I've watched them do it so many times. Easy.
Have you really done it?
No, I can though. I know I can.
I don't put anything past you, bro.
I'm good, man. I'm a man's man.
So,
speaking of that, I had my kids shooting guns
right
4th of July, and I posted on my Twitter or my TikTok. And TikTok's a bunch of bitches. They took that shit down because my son was shooting a Glock. That makes me so angry. I'm sorry about cussing, but it made me so angry.
And you don't ever have to apologize for cussing on my show. It's all fair game.
Just for the world. My bad, guys.
I do it all the time,
It was, but I was like amazed.
But he doing good?
Great, dude. I'll send you the video.
Okay.
It was popping, and then it's just like my son just bop, 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 bop. And then looking at me smiling with the biggest smile. We didn't even have fireworks this year. We just shot guns. Shot ARs, shotguns. I got to put a target up with a bunch of bamboo in the background, like 80-foot trees. So it wasn't going past that 100%.
That's what country folks do, man. You're country folk.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
I still think we need to get a production company on board, and we need to fucking, come down to your house, and we need to make a TV show.
Called The Clan of the Prices.
Maybe not The Clan. The Clan might be a trigger word for some people.
Yes, that's a bad word, actually.
Speaking of
that, I ever tell you about the KKK emblem I found on my property?
No.
The week after I bought it, I found a thing. It was weird. It had the KKK people on it. It was sterling. It was silver. It was worth like $1,000. I was like, holy cow! The guy had a staff and he's holding the Bible. He has the triangle thing on. I was like, what in the heck is this?
What did
was
I
like,
just buy? What bodies are buried here?
Dude, and then I dug a pond last year on my property, and I'm digging this pond, and this piece of wood pops out of the dirt. It looked like a femur. And
Oh,
I'm like,
shit.
oh my God, I found it. I found a leg. Oh my God. I started tripping out. I walked over, I grabbed it, and I hit it onto the bucket of the bobcat, hopefully it wouldn't like break, and it just split like it was a piece of wood. But it looked like, dude, I was like, I thought I brought up some bodies and stuff. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, well, if anything like that happens again, dude, instead of trying to break it, don't touch it and call the police and let them come check it out, because
I'm
you
impatient. I
could
have
be
to know right
destroying
away.
you could be destroying evidence, dude, of a murder.
I didn't even think of that, honestly. Didn't even think of that. I was thinking about how many bodies am I going to find out here after finding that emblem? I was like, oh no.
Oh man, let's see. Just needs them on. Here's one. Yeah, so we got some comments. So I got to go back and pop up here. Well, actually, here first one. Niko is favored to have an 8th kid at minus 10,000.
It's possible.
Niko Price, your upkick KO is in the UFC. It's absolutely legendary, straight ninja shit, brother. It ain't no nut November. It's no nut March for Niko.
That's a good one right there.
My buddy Garrett Kerman, the fight analyst, popping on, says Niko is the man. Of course he is.
Thank you. The
great and powerful Garrett Kerman is watching. We got a Niko.
Rookie.
We got
Tyler Randall. He's fighting. He's gonna be fighting for the title of bare knuckle. That's my
right.
boy.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Raul, that's my uncle.
He's like, hey, Niko. Niko is so hilarious. I'm crying laughing. And when I tell you guys that Niko's kids have run by the video screen when we've been doing shows where he's been at the house out on the porch and running around with a big old buck knife behind Niko's head, that's no bullshit, bro. That's real shit. These kids live a country lifestyle. It's like,
oh man,
it's like Duck Dynasty kind of down there. You know what I'm saying?
Lately it's been BB guns and dove. Oh. My kids, they love shooting doves. And I told him, if you shoot them, you got to clean them and eat them. You ain't going to just shoot it and leave it there.
That's right.
So I did the first one for him, cleaned it, showed him how to do it. And then the next day, he's like, Dad, I got another one. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, dude, I don't want to clean it. He goes, I'll do it. And then he rips the chest, rips it in half, peels the skin, and rips the breast out. I was like, all right. I said, you can shoot as many as you want. So tomorrow we're going to be dove hunting at my property with BB guns.
Are you eating these birds?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Them. It's like a little sweet piece of steak. It's like this big. The breast of a dove. It's not big at all. You need like 20 of them to feed my kid.
Yeah. If they're that big, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because they'll eat a 20 piece by themselves.
All right. So, what is your most memorable moment in the UFC so far? As we know, it's not about the destination, only the journey.
Man. I don't know. I so many. I can't just choose one. I got the Randy Brown fight was good. James Vick. Both of my Vicente fight. My second one was like stellar war.
Right.
Donald Cerrone was a great fight for me.
Yep. You fought Robbie Lawler.
I was just going to say, Robbie, like, it didn't last long and I woke up, but it was great. Like, I got to step in there and experience, like, what true love is for a fighter. Like, when I was in there, dude, and he walked out with his music and everything, I was like, fuck you, let's go. You know, I'm getting amped up. And then when they started chanting him and like, dude, the roar that came out of the crowd for Robbie was ridiculous. Like, I hope to experience that for me. Like, I've had my name chanted a few times in Vegas and in other states and stuff, but like the roar, it was a lion's roar for Robbie on his last fight with me, and I'll never forget that.
Wow.
And for everyone or anyone who thinks I would have thrown that fight, y'all are on some other type of drugs. Because I wanted to knock him out. The only thing was, he got it first, man, and I
He
can't take
did.
nothing from him. He's a freaking legend. And the only thing I can tell you this is, my nose hurt more than anything, and he didn't punch me in the nose. When he knocked me out, I headbutted my knee.
Oh.
Because I went limp noodle.
Yeah, you did.
That shit I said. I did the worm downward.
So, I honestly, when we posted that question to you, for some reason, the thought in my head said Niko's going to say that his greatest memory in the UFC was signing that first UFC contract and getting there. For some reason, I just thought that was coming out of your mouth. I was wrong.
It was great. I did like pass out sort of in excitement. I thought I was gonna be fighting for a different promotion somewhere else, they told me. So I was training my butt off, and then they said, he came over, he goes, "Read the text, I can't read it." And I'm like, you've read every other text, what's wrong with you? To my other coach. And it's like, he's in Brandon Thatch, and it had December 31st, 2016 on the Ronda Rousey card. And I was like, and I just like leaned the cage and just sat down, and I was like freaking out with tears, and I was like, let's go. So like when Brandon Thatch, when he looked at me and he was like, thanks for taking this fight, I was like, you're not going to be happy you took this fight with me. This is the beginning of my journey, and I am not finishing it. It's not going to end quick.
Yeah, there you go. That's the way to do it. Speaking of some of your great moments, one of your big moments was when you took out James Vick. James Vick is doing karate combat now.
Rafael Alves got him.
Did you see that?
Live, yeah. Rafael is a very good friend of mine. I trained with Rafael for years over at ATT and then MMA Masters and everything. And that dude is a dude that you don't want to fight Rafael, because when he's on point, that's what happens.
Yeah,
but not only that, like
scary.
James is a good guy and stuff, but he needs to let his brain take the break. Because the last, 5 or 6 have been that.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Then Gaethje.
Yeah, just getting knocked out after knocked out after knocked out. President Awesome from Karate Combat came out and said that they're not going to sign him back up for another fight. And I don't know if anybody is going to sign him up for another fight. And if they do, man, that's uncool. He is not fight ready. He's not fight capable right now. And it sucks to say that, but that's the reality of where the guy's at.
He's a great fighter, man. He was top 10 in the UFC
cool dude.
at 55. He was killing it. He's a good-ass dude. I fought on the same card as him in Texas when I fought the first time with Alex Morano.
Yeah, I announced him in West Palm Beach on the first ex-MMA card that they did. Ex-MMA, they were bringing all the, former UFC, packing their cards with old UFC guys, just and I announced them, and feel for the guy.
It was sick, though.
That was a crazy fucking knockout.
That low and then jump high, I was like, and it was the accuracy, which, I know Rafael, like I said, he's done that crap to me. So I totally understand, but thank God he had chin guards when he did to me.
What about your guy Miguel Baeza?
Yeah, Miguel.
Yeah, what about him, dude? He didn't look good in his last fight.
I haven't got to talk to him a lot recently. I want to talk to him. I want to train with him, and I want to lift him up because I feel like that's what he needs. I feel like he needs a friend with him right now, like talking to him, like, yo, dude, you just need to get it going. That's all it is. I'm willing to talk right now. I just got my first win in, like you said, the last freaking 3.
Yeah.
3 or 4, I don't even know. So like, I just got my first dub. We all go through these spells, you know. It's like, look at all the champions. How many of them are undefeated? You know,
None.
none.
John
They
Jones.
all have a loss. You know,
John Jones is undefeated.
Yeah, well, John Jones.
I mean, he's got the one DQ loss, but
that's not a loss.
That's right. He won that
went
fight
against him. Like that, they were like, and who's to say that was actually, or was it? I don't remember it.
Yeah, he never should have gotten
intentionally trying to. He was just trying to get the elbow to land.
He never should have gotten DQ'd for that. But we'll move on.
I agree 100%.
Yeah,
100% with that. I got to see Jones actually at APFC in where is it? Where were we? We were one of my last camp for the Robbie camp.
Okay.
When I was in Wisconsin.
Oh, you saw him at Anthony Pettis' show.
Yeah, Anthony Pettis' show. And it was cool. I was over there. You should have saw. There was like a line of hundreds of people trying to get pictures with him. And he's just standing there. He's like, you can see he's like getting tired of standing there. And I ran over to like the fence because I sort of like just walked in as a casual to the show. I didn't like tell them that I was coming in. Like we just got in and went in, you know. And it was fun. I got to see Jones. Jones saw me and came up to me and knew my name. And I was like, "You know my name?" I was like, "Johnny Bones Jones knows my." I said, "What's up, man?" Acting like I knew. He's like, we were homies and stuff. And I was
That's a cool moment, bro. That's a cool moment.
It was cool as crap.
Yeah. I haven't met him yet. One day I hope to meet him. So
he is a lot bigger in person. And now
I'm sure he is.
Heavyweight, he is scary big.
Yep. All right, my brother. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking the time and catching us up, man. I hope to God that the UFC extends you another contract.
Amen.
Congratulations on baby number 7 coming your way. I can't believe you're having 7 babies, dude. It's insane to me. All the love from my family. All the love from me, my family, yours. Thank you from everybody here at Fight Bananas. We appreciate the hell out of you, man, and we're wishing you the best, whatever comes next.
Thank you guys so much. All glory to God, and hasta luego.
Hasta la pasta. Be good. All right, boys and girls, that was my man Niko Price. UFC contract waiting. That's what we're hoping. Both him and Nate are awaiting their contracts with the UFC. So we'll see if we get them popping up here real soon. Both, deserve it, and I hope they both get it. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, HKAUSA.com. Use the promo code Bananas20 for 20% off all fight gear. You are watching Cage Side with Christopher James on Fight Bananas. I got 2 guests coming in right now. One announced, one not announced. So I'm going to bring in the announced guest first. He is 14-0 as a professional boxer. He just fought this weekend on the Last Man Standing event on the undercard of Masvidal and Diaz. He took on another tough fighter who was 13-1 going in, Manny Correa, and he came out with the big decision win in front of a sold-out crowd of 18,000 plus, and he took it all in stride, man. It's like, this was probably the biggest crowd has ever seen him fight, and he was just like seasoned veteran in there, man. Such a pro. And that's why I love this kid. We're going to bring him on right now. I've watched him since 2016. And here he is, Devin Cushing. Welcome back, brother.
What up, Chris?
What's up, dog?
What's up, man? I love you, brother.
I love you, dude. I love you, man. I'm so happy.
Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you great, man. I'm so happy to have you on board tonight, man. Before we get started on your interview, I'm going to bring in another guest. His name is John Radford. He's from Boxing Bananas. And he's our resident boxing expert. And since I'm bringing you on, well, I know boxing some, he knows boxing better, and we want to make sure we present the best product to our viewers, So let's bring in the professor, John Radford. John, what's up, bro?
How we doing, brother? How we doing, Devin? Congratulations,
what up,
bro.
John? It's been a minute, man. How you doing?
What's up, man? You doing all right?
Yes, sir.
You still
Yes,
look
sir.
clean. I love it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yep.
Well, first of
Still
all,
look
we're going to welcome
clean.
the professor. You can catch the professor on
Can you guys
Boxing
hear me? I'm sorry. I
Bananas.
hope my mic's working. Okay.
Yeah, we
Yes,
can
sir.
hear
All
you. Can you
good.
hear
All
us?
good. All good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can
Clean
hear
as day.
us? All right, cool. So he does the show Boxing Bananas. Bouncing around on nights, Thursdays, sometimes Fridays, sometimes. So before we get into Devin here, real quick, give everybody the breakdown on Boxing Bananas so they know how to keep up with you, John.
Oh yeah. Me and my guy Ray, we do Boxing Bananas on sometimes like you said Tuesdays. Sometimes we do the wrap or the recap show on a Tuesday or a Monday. Usually on a Tuesday because you got the night on Monday, brother, and you're doing a great job. Always thank you for tuning in to our show too. But follow us on Boxing Bananas Official. That's our IG handle, and then we're on the we're underneath the Fight Bananas banner like you guys and everything like that. So we do the show, but we cover everything from boxing, all the news, things like that, up and coming fights and things like this. And then we love interviewing the soon to be superstar of the nation, that everybody got to see this weekend, Devin Cushing. So I thank you for bringing me on to do that. But yeah, try to check us out. Follow us on the on IG, follow us on the Fight Bananas page, and that's how we do it.
Perfect, man. Thanks for
go.
shout out the show. All right, so Devin Cushing is here with us. Devin Cushing is a young man. I've watched him since 2016, so 8 years now. I've watched his career progress. And even though I know he's going to be very critical of his performance, I thought you looked great out there. Your jab was firing the way it's supposed to. Doing everything you were supposed to do. He caught you a couple times, but it's boxing. You're going to get hit a little bit here and there.
Yeah, that's the name of the game, Chris. That's the name
That's
of the game.
the name of the game. See, I know boxing.
You're gonna get hit a few times.
But in my opinion, especially in the environment you're in, a huge crowd, 18,000 people in the building. You're on the undercard of Masvidal Diaz. Obviously, this is the biggest night of your career, and like I said before I brought you on, you handled it like such a seasoned pro. Like this wasn't your first rodeo, and in essence, this kind of was your first rodeo at this level. So tell us about that, and then after you get done answering that, John, jump in and get technical, bro.
Well, first, I appreciate y'all having me on, Chris and John. You know what I mean? And Saturday night, man, was surreal. 18,000 people alone, just like you said, Chris. It was crazy in there, man. It was crazy. It was crazy to witness, honestly. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, it was ecstatic in there. I had fun. And my mindset, honestly, going into it, Chris and John, I was just trying to enjoy everything and like soak it in, kinda. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And just enjoy it. Enjoy the process. I enjoyed everything, man. I had a good weight cut. I'm not gonna blame. I don't want to make too many excuses, man. I'm not pleased with my performance, and I feel like the weight cut kind of had something to do with me fading out in the last stretch of the second stretch of the fight. But again, man, no excuses. We got the win, and to be honest, man, that's all that matters. That's all I was worried about.
Hey, and John, before you get technical, I just there's a few things I can discuss that are not so technical. The weight cut. How much of a cut were you making to get down to that 131?
Man, I'm already probably back up in the 50s right now. So yeah, I weighed in at 131, almost 132, 131.9.
Right.
So I probably cut a good 20 plus pounds, at least 20 pounds for sure.
Was it hard getting it off? The last couple of days, before you hit the scale?
Nah, it wasn't hard getting it off. Like I said, I had a pretty smooth weight cut for it. I feel like I'm feeling it on the second stretch of the fight, Chris. You know what I mean? I feel
that's why I'm trying to figure out, if you had a bad weight cut.
I feel like I belong at 135.
Okay.
I haven't made, again, people don't realize I haven't made 130 pounds or 132 pounds since I was in the amateurs when I was 16 years old.
Wow.
16 years old. So, man, my body's just, it's still growing. It's still maturing. And I'm 27 years old, man. I feel like 135 is going to be my place at home. You know what I mean?
Okay. See, I totally forgot that you haven't been down that low in a long time, because even the recent fights I've done where you've been on the card, you were up in the 135, 137 range.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, John, take it away, bro.
You answered my first question, brother. I think you'd be best at 135 too. I think, like you were saying, kind of plays into everything I was watching when I was watching. Again, great performance, jabs popping like it was. I remember the first time I saw you fight at the Pensacola Bay Center, man.
Yes, sir.
And I fell in love with your jab, bro. I really did. It's pinpoint, it's fast. It's the best way I can describe it is like you're a major league pitcher with it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got the wild thing, 99 to 100 coming at their face. You got the slow, you got the change up, you got the angle. I mean, it's just, you got the screwball if you want it. You got everything when it comes to the jab. And it all comes from that beautiful front hand low position. Not every time, but a lot of times you're feeling it, you're relaxed. That's just the style I really, really enjoy. So I fell in love with your jab early. So, but you answered my question to start with. So 135, you think is the best weight for you?
Yeah, man. I think I'm going to be way more comfortable at 135. I'm going to be more stronger, and I'm still cutting down to 135. My face is still shrunk in at 135. I look good, but I'm not doing too much. You know what I mean? I feel I feel like getting getting those last few pounds, man, is just making the difference. People, if you've cut weight, if you know what I mean?
Yes. That's exactly what
people probably on here like, oh, 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds ain't nothing. All right. You know what I mean? It's a big difference. You know what I'm saying?
But it is.
It really is.
It's a big difference, man.
It really does. That last little pounds. I mean, if everybody could stop with 3 pounds, if they think they have to hit, say 130, if you could have stopped at 133, you would have been Gucci. You would have been,
and see, John, that's another thing that I'm thinking about. If I want to be at 130 pounds and fight at the top level at 130 pounds, what am I going to have to do? I'm going to have to make 130 pounds, right?
Yep.
This was 130 pounds plus 2. So I used the 2 pounds. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have used the 2 pounds if I didn't need to use the 2 pounds. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
I feel like I'm gonna be like I feel like I'm gonna be a lot more comfortable at 135, and just like you said, man, thinking about it like that. If I have to fight, if I want to fight at 130 pounds, eventually I'm gonna have to make 130 pounds, and I would have still had 2 pounds to lose. It'd have been tough, man. It would have been tough.
And you just recognizing that, I think, is what is the beautiful thing. You've been around the fight game for good God.
Yes, sir.
I mean, your whole family's been around the fight game, from, the man himself, Dean Toole, to you, your father, being around, Roy Sr., all those guys, man. You've been in the fight game forever. And I think that's a very mature thing of you to do, at you said 28, right?
I'll be 28 in December, man.
Okay. So 27, that's a very mature thing for you to do. And I think a lot of people force themselves. I see a lot of MMA guys, want to get down to that lower weight, where I'm like, be healthier.
They want that.
Be healthier and stronger.
They want that advantage, but you have to be healthy also, just like you said, John. You know what I mean? You don't want to deplete yourself, because people can say what they want, man. I feel like in the second stretch of fights, in the later stretch in fights, it shows. It does show. You know what I mean? You start to feel it. You know what I mean? And I feel like it had a little bit to do with that Saturday night. No excuses though. You know what I mean? I got the job done, and on to the next one, man.
Yeah. So my other question was, he was telling, trying to goat you to come to the corner, and y'all were talking. What were y'all saying to each other? Because at that point, you kind of had him on his back foot, and he definitely didn't really want to come forward anymore. So he was trying to goat you to come to him. I thought that was pretty cool, because you kind of just looked at him down and bang, hit him with another jab, and I was like, all right.
Yeah,
so
man,
what was he trying to say to you?
He was talking from the jump of the fight until the end of the fight. Man, he talked to me from round 1 to round 8. So man, I just wasn't trying to play into his game.
You didn't.
I focused on that a lot in camp. Just trying to stay focused, man, on everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not worry about, just like the crowd, for instance, also, you know what I mean? Just not paying no mind to any of that. You know what I mean? Just focus on what I got to do.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to keep boxing Saturday night. You know, I didn't want to get it. I didn't want to get pulled into his fight. I wanted to box and show that I can box. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's what I did Saturday night.
And you did. And I'm sorry, you avenged that amateur loss to him too, right? You showed him,
Yes,
hey,
sir.
pros
man,
are a different game, baby. Pros are a different game.
Yeah, man. You know the pros is a whole nother ball game, just like I said, and just like I was telling them, man, I wasn't a 17-year-old boy Saturday night either. I was a 27-year-old grown man. So
that's right.
And big difference.
Yeah, man, big difference. And yeah, man, I didn't. I guess he found out he fought me. You know, I guess he's from down in Miami. We fought back in 2014 in the Florida Golden Gloves.
So 10 years ago.
Yeah, years and years ago. Like about 10 years ago, yes.
Yeah.
And we fought at 132 pounds. We fought in West Palm Beach. And it was the 2014 Golden Gloves. And I didn't remember fighting him. I guess he's lived down in Miami for a while. So someone probably, or he's seen in his in his amateur book that he fought me. I didn't remember that I fought Manuel Carrera in that tournament. And I tried to look in my book to see if it was, to see if we fought. And his name isn't in my book either. So I didn't know. And I guess he got the loop or got the scoop or whatever. and he found out. And yeah, man, that was a thing for 2 or 3 weeks. Everybody was talking about, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I had him on my show. One of the first things he said,
was talking about that.
He brought it right up, like, he
brought it up and stuff. So
and I said to him, I said, well, that was a long time ago. You guys are both different fighters today, because that's just the truth of it.
Yep.
That's crazy that he's not in your book.
And see, Chris and John, that's another thing, man. Just working on my focus, man. Just not paying attention to that. You know what I mean? That was 10 years ago. I wasn't worried about that. He's obviously living in the past. So I was like, yeah, he's living in the past. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I showed my maturity Saturday night. You know what I mean? I didn't get into his fight. I boxed my fight. I feel like there's a lot of things I could have done. A lot more things I could have done. To be honest, man, I feel like the world seen 20% of Devin Cushing Saturday night.
Yeah. I was wondering, because I felt you controlled the whole fight. There was no doubt of it in my mind. And you look at the CompuBox numbers, where jabs, it says, you landed 20 of 151. He landed 1 of 38. Body punches landed, you landed 16. He landed none. You doubled his striking output overall. Total punches, you actually almost tripled them. Was there any point where you and I, like I said, I've known you a long time and I've watched you come up, and I don't ever see you like always looking for that knockout at this stage of the game where you are right now? This is the biggest fight you've had so far, no doubt about it, biggest platform. But now there's going to be, you said at the press conference, people are going to know your name. Well, some people know your name now. So was there a point in that fight where you just ran through your head, maybe I should just try to knock this guy out because of the platform?
Yes. I'm not gonna. Yeah, it did. It crossed my mind in the fight. I was like, man, should I slug it out with this motherfucker and fucking try to put him on his ass and just get, I hear the fans booing. I'm like, should I give them what they want? You know what I mean? Should we just fight, Chris? You know what I mean? And again, man, I feel like a lot of people are probably going to critique my performance. Like I said, I could have done better, and I know I could have done better. But I know within myself that I showed a lot of maturity Saturday night. Again, you know what I mean? A lot of development. You know what I mean? And that I did a lot of good things. But then there's things that I could have done and I didn't do. You know what I mean? And I just want to get back to the drawing board, man. And it's been 15 months since I fought. I fought one time last year in 2023. Mm-hmm. That's another thing. Mm-hmm. Inactivity. That's what me and my father have been talking about. We're laying all this on the table. You know what I mean? And going through all this so we can make the right adjustments, man. And be ready for the next one. you know.
Yeah, and real quick, guys, you're watching K-Sharp Christopher James, presented by Fight Bananas. We do the show every Monday night. Make sure you check out our sponsor, HKAUSA.com. Go to HKAUSA.com, type in the code bananas20, you get 20% off their gear. I don't use any of their gear. John's got some of their gloves. He loves them. So make sure that you guys support our sponsors and, just, show the love, man, because we need it. We got to get paid. We got to make some money for the show. John needs new headphones.
I do need new headphones. That's not a lie. Oh my god. Devin, do you think the next step is 135? Is that where you're going to go? You feel you're going to go 135 instead of try to make 130 again or 132 again?
Yeah, man, I think I'm gonna be very, very, I'm gonna still have to cut and be disciplined to make 135, but I'm gonna be right at home at 135, and I feel like I'm gonna match. I match everybody's size at 135 too.
You do.
What about if the right fight, like the right big name, came along at 130, 132? Do you look at that as, all right, the biggest name I've ever fought? Do you make that sacrifice or cut, or do you stay at 135 and build your legacy, continue to build your legacy there?
It's all about being smart, and I want to be smart, and I feel like 135 is gonna be my home, Chris, again, man. So
I had to ask, if the right opportunity pops up, because
yeah,
you just don't know.
Yeah, just again, I feel like that had a big part to play in Saturday night, man. Okay. And I just no excuses, man. No excuses. Gotcha. No excuses at all. I got the job done. I did what I was supposed to do, and I'm not worried about a big name at 130. I like to go to 135, man. I'm gonna be a lot stronger there, and I feel like I'm gonna be able to show who Devin Cushing is more at 135 pounds.
Cool.
I think so too. Tell me if I'm wrong, Devin. This was obviously the biggest fight week you've ever had, as far as like having to do all the media, the open workouts, things like that. I 1000% agree with you. At 135, you're going to be more healthier. You're going to be stronger.
One more thing too.
Yes, sir.
I never lost. I'm like 67-8 on my amateur book. I never lost at 141 pounds. Never. Never.
Well, that shows us right there that like what you're saying is
just more comfortable.
Yeah. And you're going to have more power. I think you could have turned up the gas if that fight was at 135 this weekend and probably got him out there in the 7th or 8th like you wanted to. You wouldn't have to worry about getting to the dog fight. You could have just put the gas pedal down a little bit more and picked them apart. So moving to 135 and being a part of this big, huge fight week that was super successful. It was awesome. I watched the entire card. You had Daniel Jacobs on it, which, Shane Mosley Jr. on it. Then you had, Kamil Moten on it. I mean, he's one of the he's only 4-0 now, but he's one of the up and coming prospects. You know what I mean?
4-0?
4-0 now, right?
I was talking about him earlier. I thought he was like 5 or 6.
18-year-old badass.
18-year-old dude. That kid, I never heard of him. Never heard of him before that night.
He's a little monster. He's a little monster.
Holy shit. I was like, I'm glad you brought him up, John, because holy shit.
Yeah.
Every shot was thudding. He's an 18-year-old badass, man.
Oh, yeah, he really is. It's a grown man at 18 beating people up.
He is.
But knowing that you went through this week now, you had the biggest preparation week, because if you've never been through a huge fight week, just a little bit that I've seen at like a UFC event or a PFL event, or even like a major boxing event that I've been at, as a cornerman, it's a lot for the main guys. The guys on the main card have to do a lot that week. Like, you're on a schedule, all while trying to make sure you're cutting weight, all while you're trying to make sure that you're getting the right nutrition in, staying focused, locked in, laser focus, everything like that. Doing this and making it to 132. Do you feel that at 135 and having another big fight week like this, it would just be it's going to be a smoother process? It's just going to be now it's going to feel like you've done it before, and it'll be easier for you.
Less stressful, John. For sure.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just like you said, man, it wasn't even like this in Milwaukee, Wisconsin a year back in April of 2023. And just like you said, John, it was literally when we got there Tuesday, It was a schedule sheet of things to do from Tuesday to Friday.
Yep.
Every day we had something to do, if not two things to do that day. You know what I mean?
What about on the 4th of July? Did they work you or did you have the day off?
The 4th of July was Thursday, right? Thursday we did have off, actually, Chris. It was the day before weigh-ins and stuff.
Yep.
Tuesday and Wednesday we had some things to do. Tuesday we had the press conference,
right?
If I'm not mistaken.
No, wasn't Tuesday. Tuesday was open workouts.
Tuesday was open workouts when I first got there.
Yeah.
Wednesday was the press conference. Thursday they gave us off, and then Friday we had to make weight. Yeah, and that's it. And then, but Wednesday we had the press conference, and we had to take pictures, do interviews. You know what I mean? There was a lot of things we had to do, man. It was other than Thursday, man, we were on a schedule for sure.
Just get used to it, dude. That's what happens when you become a big star.
Yes, sir. It was fun, man. I enjoyed all of it. But like John said, not having to cut that much weight, it would have been a lot more less stressful on me, So
where are you looking to how many here, I'll be honest. I personally think you're going to be up there sooner than later with the top tier guys at 135. I think you have the talent. I think, like I said, I think you have one of the best jabs in boxing, period, end. Like, I think, and as you get, you just keep raising your level, your skill set, it's just going to get even more incredible. How many fights do you see before you get a name that we're all going to be like, ooh, yeah, all right. How many fights do you want to have before that name? Or when are you looking for that next level jump? You know what I mean? Because, Manuel Carrera is 13-1. You were 13-0. That's a great matchup. I think it was, wonderful. Clearly you showed you were the more skilled fighter. And I think at 135, like you said, you'll be able to show even more of yourself. So what do you think is the next, when does the next jump happen? How many more fights, or is it the next one?
Yeah. To be honest, John, like I said, man, I had a feeling that this fight of the inactivity also played a factor also. You know what I mean? Manuel Carrera is a hell of an opponent. He's 13-1. People can say what they want about him, but he's only been stopped by a decorated Olympian, a Russian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the dude's been fighting his whole life. You know what I'm saying? He's a good opponent, man. You know what I mean?
Yes,
he was
absolutely.
He showed up Saturday night. He showed up in shape, and he showed up like a professional. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
I like the way he trimmed his beard, by the way. If I got
and yeah, man, I just want to. I want to get busier, man. I can't. I don't want to. I don't want to get into these big fights, John, and be fighting one time a year. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I can't. I don't want to try and compete with the best fighting one time a year. You know what I'm saying? I need to be active, man. I need to be fighting 2, 3, 4 times a year right now. You know what I mean? And then that opportunity will come. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I need to get rolling, man. I need to get active, man. I need to get active.
So then the next question would be, do we have something else in the pipe running night and half? I know you just got home from California, and you're seeing a little Hazel, a little beautiful girl, and you just got home, but you're wiggling them eyebrows. So do we have something else that we're going to see this year? I mean, you don't have to give us all the details if you can't. Just a simple yes or no is, I'll be happy.
Yes, sir. You'll see Devin Cushing very, very sooner than you think. Actually, sooner. Way
August 9th in Pensacola.
Maybe. Maybe.
That makes me happy because I'm announcing that event. So there's only going to be a few opportunities probably left in my career where I get to announce you before you go to the big guys. I mean, like having Jimmy Lennon Jr. Fucking buffers and shit
crazy.
like that.
That was crazy, Chris. That was crazy.
I was like, fuck, man, why didn't they call me?
But
I know why. Whatever. He's awesome. So fucking. Before I give John back the mic here, I have 2 questions for you from the crowd. My guy Forrest. First, he wants to know if you do any jujitsu or other combat sport for fun and discipline besides boxing. You got fire for hands.
I don't, Forrest.
Hmm.
When my uncle Dean Toole owned Gulf Beach Fitness off Gulf Beach Highway in Pensacola, he had an upstairs jiu-jitsu room. And I took a few classes, man, when I was younger, but that's about all I've done.
Gotta punch somebody in the face. Why you grabbing my neck? And then from Forrest also, he wants to know what's your favorite thing to eat after making weight for a fight.
Probably a good steak, man, or some if it's weigh-ins and it's in the morning, a good breakfast, huge breakfast is fire.
Before I forget, it just popped in my head. I'm sorry. Sorry about your question, Forrest. I forgot to tell you to make sure you give your brother a hug from me and tell him congratulations on his journey to becoming a papa. I saw that. I was like, oh my God.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. Uncle Devin.
It's a blessing too. I'm gonna be an uncle.
Uncle Devin. Oh, we lost him there. I don't know. He might probably got a phone call or a text message or something. That happens, you know. I'm glad you came on board tonight, John. As soon as he comes back in, we'll get him get you some more technical questions there with Devin. But I'm glad you came in tonight because you know, I can ask certain questions and everything, you know, but your boxing background is so much greater than mine. And so I appreciate you taking some time out of your life because, you know, you still got to do boxing bananas and all that stuff. And I know you work hard on that show.
Thank you for having me. Just thank you for the invite.
Dude, all the Fight Banana shows, you know, we should support them all. Whenever I see one of the Fight Banana shows on, I would go on and comment and everything. And, I do because, you know, we should all support each other. So Uncle Devin. Yep. Right? That's what we're talking about before you disappeared. Uncle Devin is that sounds pretty cool, dude. But first I was crazy to find out when you were having a baby. And now your brother's doing it, and he's so much younger than you when he started. Like, what's up with that boy?
It's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. And it'll give Hazel a cousin to
abuse.
No. Yeah. Run her wild, man. Run her wild. So,
tire her out a little bit, right?
Yeah, match her energy for sure.
Yeah. Your daughter's so adorable, dude. She's so much fun. Anytime you bring her around to the fights and everything, that's awesome. So I'm going to ask you one more question. I'm going to give it back to my technical advisor over here, John. That's what he is. He's my technical advisor because there's stuff I can watch boxing and I can discern what's happening inside the ring. But there's stuff that I don't see that I miss that I know the viewers want to hear about, and I don't want to give them. I don't want them to miss out on the opportunity to get that technical information because some people watch the show for entertainment, some people watch the show to learn. So I try to provide both. You being a daddy now, you know, I think I asked you this once before, but now that you're, you know, a couple more years into it and everything, just how good does that make you feel every single day of your life?
Man, it's that's my number one, Chris. You know what I mean? Before all, you know, I love boxing. It's a passion. It's what I do for a living. You know what I mean? And you know, I love it so much. But my family is number one, man. You know what I mean? And that little girl, man, she lights up my day every day, Chris. You know what I mean? She lights up every day. She lights up every day. So yeah, man, it's a blessing to have that little girl, man. She motivates me so much. And she just makes me want to be better every day. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about, man, is getting better every day. You know what I mean? At least 1% better every day, you know?
That's all you can ask for, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's awesome. All right, John, take it away.
She puts a little bit of that NOS, that NOS in your gas tank to work a little bit harder every day, right?
Yeah, man. She likes that fire up under my ass.
Yeah, for sure. I feel you. I understand. I get you. My next question for you is just I know you're more critical of yourself than anyone else will be. That's kind of how a fighter is, how a boxer is, and we know you've been already saying it. No excuses about the performance, things like that. You feel like you could have done better. Like me and Christopher J both agree, you controlled the fight. There was nothing in the fight where I thought you were in any type of danger in the sense of like, oh, he's starting to get a little bit, you know, he's starting to get better shots or he's finding, you know, Devon's timing. I didn't think of that at all. So from the fight on the inside, you watching it, you were clearly locked in, like laser focused.
Yes,
when I was watching the corner, the smooth conversation, which I want to commend you this on, the smooth conversation you were having with your father was great. I
Yes,
never
sir.
once, you see some father-son duos, and they, even an uncle or non-uncle, you know, whoever it is, when you have a family member that's coaching you, sometimes you're quicker to get animosity between them. You're quicker to get upset with them, right? Because you're so tight knit already. You're already family member. I don't ever see that in the corner whenever I watched you, and I commend you guys on that. You have a very good understanding of what business needs to be taken care of. This is business.
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. So,
And you know, I want to add to that, John, real quick, because I've watched Devin, you know, his whole career coming up with his dad, and you know, um, he grew up working with Roy Senior. You know, we knew Roy Senior and Roy Junior had their rift and their breakup and everything. And I think that, and maybe I'm wrong in guessing this, but I think Devin and his dad learned from that to some degree, that, you know, this is family. We got to keep this together, you know, and ride the rails together as long as we possibly can. And as sad as it is that the Jones guys, you know, had their thing, because that hurts my heart every day. I think Devin and Woodrow really have it figured out, and it's one of the most amazing things I watch, because, like you said, there's so many, you know, family member boxing things that we could bring back over history, where the father and the son, or the father and the uncle, just, you know, couldn't get on the same page, and then they split, and then he goes to train his competitor, and you know, we got a Rocky movie going on over here. It's fucking
Yep.
nuts.
yeah, like I said, like there's some, like, just the same weekend that you fought, I saw some things in that, like, you know, I'm watching multiple boxing events at once, you know, two screens, everything like this, trying to do, you know, one fighter was fighting over the weekend that didn't necessarily, was essentially arguing with his cornerman. I mean, it was like the back talk, things like that. It was just kind of like, all right, if that's happening, why is he in your corner if you don't want him to, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
So I go back to commending you on how you guys function in the corner. With
Yeah, man.
that,
I feel like it's a lot of trust. It takes a
Yeah.
lot of trust in that corner. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Your corner men. Those are the guys you trust. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And my father, man, I trust him. I trust what he says. You know what I mean? I know he would never steer me wrong. You know what I
Yes.
mean? I know he
Agreed.
always has my best interest. You know,
So when you guys were,
whether it's boxing or not. You know what I mean?
agreed,
And
agreed. I met him.
I,
He's a good man, man. He's a good man. He was super cool when I met him. So I mean, like I said, I commend you guys in the corner. When you were in the corner, was there things that you were saying, that he was saying, that you saw, or you know, or that you tried to capitalize on, but maybe you just couldn't? Or is there things that you saw that you asked him, that you were like, hey, what, like, essentially, what were your eyes in the fight where you thought you could have made some changes to to have a better performance?
Yeah, to be honest, my dad was just telling me there was nothing we didn't see. You know what I'm saying? It's just like Saturday night, I just felt like I it's like I had the trigger in my hand, but I just couldn't pull it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And yeah, man, that's what happened Saturday night. And I just I feel like I just I kind of went stale. You know what I mean? For a minute. And you know, like I said, man, we seen things. There's nothing we didn't, you know, that we were worried about, or like we were getting surprised with or anything. Um, he just wanted me to get more busier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I
Yeah.
said, man, I feel like the inactivity had a lot to play. I've been off 15 months. I only fought one time last year, and just I feel like I just couldn't pull that trigger, man. Saturday night. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
And
no, agreed.
that's all he was saying. Man, get
Okay.
busy. Let it
Yeah.
go. Let it go. You know what I mean? It's there. Let it go. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
think you hit it on the head, where if you get activity, you'll become that well-oiled machine that
yes,
the
sir.
trigger pull will be easy, right? The
You
mechanism
gotta
to do.
you gotta get into a groove, man.
Yeah.
It's all about a groove in this game. You know what I mean?
Got to be
You
lathered up, man. You got to have that lather build, that thing. I think you're right. I think, because like I said, man, I didn't see any trouble. I feel like I was seeing the same thing that you're saying. I saw that, okay, I feel like Devin wants to push that gas pedal, but you know, it's just the win and the performance right now is fine. There's no reason to push the gas pedal. We're not in danger. There's nothing that we need to get. So the win was the most important thing. And you showed that you can do that. And I think you're so right on 135. Now you're part of one of the biggest fight weeks that we've had this year, you know, for boxing. If we want to match that with any card, that boxing card was was head to toe with names on it, just like any other cards that we saw this year.
Sold out that damn Honda Center.
Exactly. So I think
Crazy.
now being a part of that, moving to 135, I think you're right. I think the world is going to see a much more than just 20% of Devin Cushing, as you said it, sir. I think they're going to see a lot. So I'm rooting for you for the more activity, and I like it. The world, I'm telling you right now, the world, look out for this guy. Look out for him, for sure.
Well, if what he's hinting at is true, you know, we might see him again on August 9th in Pensacola at Island Fights 84. In which case, John, you might have to make the trip up with Dave and come. You might have to make that trip if he's going to, especially if he's going to be fighting, dude. We got to make sure we get you ringside and fucking let you enjoy the glory right there in your face.
Oh yeah, I'll watch that jab any day of the week, brother. I'll watch that jab all day long.
Yeah, and by the way, Devin, we saw how much you made for this fight. So if me and John are up there, you know, you're buying lunch, bro.
60 G's, baby.
You know, let me ask you a question about that since I brought it up. I'm 99.9%. I only say that because I'm never 100% or anything, but I'm 99.9% sure that this was your biggest payday for a professional fight, and you know, that's got to feel pretty fucking dope, right?
Very dope, man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Congratulations on that, man, too. That's awesome.
Thank you, man. Just living my dream, man. A lot of hard work. It didn't happen overnight, Chris. Didn't happen overnight, bro.
And you're still building. So I mean, you know, we haven't even seen. I mean, you know, you're 14-0 in professional boxing. Most of the time, you know, especially for me, that's not as huge of a boxing fan as somebody like John. We don't really know the names of the next wave coming through that are going to be the stars until they're 20-0, you know, because that's the way boxing builds, because, you know, Devon's 14-0 right now. So he's eligible to fight for like a regional junior title or something. You know, I don't know how all that stuff works, but it's crazy how many belts you have to amass before you get to those big fights, you know, the ones for the, you know, WBC and the WBO and WBA belts, and just insane. Now I'm going to ask you a question, completely nothing to do with you. What's your take on Mr. Ryan Garcia, bro?
Ryan, man, I actually met Ryan.
He was at your show
when I was just out there. Yeah, he was there. I didn't meet him at the show. I actually seen him in the hotel. We were in the. He actually walked right in the fucking elevator with me, man. It was the craziest shit ever, dude.
Did you talk to him?
Yeah, I talked to him. I did talk to him. I told him I asked him what's you know, I said what's up, and told him I was fighting on his brother's card. He said that's what's up. And he asked me who I was fighting and stuff. It was cool, man. It's a cool experience. He's a character for sure. He's a character. I feel like I feel like the people make him play that persona though. You know what I mean? They put him out there to be crazy and shit like that. Shit, man.
He grew up on YouTube, right?
Hey, yeah. Fuck it. If they think I'm crazy, shit, I'd act crazy too. Fuck them. You know what I mean?
I don't think I could ever see you taking on that Ryan Garcia persona, dude. You could take on like when he comes back, he could take on a whole other persona. Like I think he could be a good guy or he could be a heel. And I think he could play that quiet, brooding heel very well. But the craziness of Ryan Garcia, I just can't see him on social media tweeting out some of the shit that Ryan Garcia tweets out. Fucking bonkers. So while Devon's gone, are you guys doing a boxing banana show this week? Recapping?
Yeah, we should be doing one. I would say. Oh, his phone dies. Can you add Woodrow? He said Cushing's phone died.
Okay, hold on.
All right. But yeah, we're gonna do a boxing banana show. I don't know if it's gonna be tomorrow night or if it's gonna be a little bit later, but odds are we're gonna do a recap of the weekend. So we'll go over all the cards that happened. I know there's a lot of other drama out there as far as the boxing world goes. So anybody who was watching, you know, both cards this weekend, the Diaz Masvidal fight, we have, you know, some controversial stuff at that main event. And then there's some controversial stuff in the co-main event for the Top Rank show that was there. In my opinion, just two horrible robberies in boxing that I just don't quite understand. we'll get into it on the boxing bananas a little bit more, but we'll probably dive a little bit deep into that because the scoring for boxing I feel like it's going backwards. It's like where MMA, you know how you would watch some MMA fights and we just confused about the scoring,
You
and you're like, what
do
the
whole
hell?
dog thing.
Like exactly. And then now it's like I can't say it all the time, but MMA is getting a little bit better with the scoring. They're getting a little bit better. They're growing at least themselves. Whereas boxing is throwing me for a loop when it comes to these decisions, and some of the way these judges are talking and watching fights blows my mind sometimes. And
I mean, just, because Devin was there, you watched the fight, the main event, that fucking, what the fuck? Diaz and Masvidal.
That one scorecard was fucking horrible.
The 97-93 scorecard, in my opinion, was right, but it was given to the wrong fighter. Masvidal won that fight 7-3 on my card. And I could have even accepted the 95. You know what? I could have accepted the 95-95. Like, if they had all had that, I could have accepted that, because it was, a fairly close fight. Diaz did some things where he was coming forward. He was controlling the pace of the fight, and you have to give, in boxing, you have to reward that, because that's part of dictating the fate, where the fight's going to take place. So you have to reward that, but you have to reward the scored punches as well. And a lot of Diaz's punches were landing on Masvidal's gloves. I went back and watched the fight twice, so I don't count those as scoring strikes. So I felt Masvidal, and I said it earlier when I mentioned it at the beginning of my show, I work for Jorge sometimes. I do. But I watch the fight, and for my education of watching fights as long as I have, I can tell you who won a fight 9 times out of 10. And be right. I'm not saying that to be cocky, but I do this, I watch fights all the fucking time. And 97-93 was the right score, but it was the wrong guy that got it. What's your take on that, John?
Let's take up the one thing that is hard to get wrong, right? CompuBox stats. How do you hit a man 154 times and he hits you 110, but you lost the fight? And then you land more jabs, your percentage is higher. It's if the guy's knocking you down, it's one thing. If the guy's landing and you're wobbling and you're hurt, you're getting standing eights, and I've only hit you 110 times and I'm getting standing 8 counts, or I'm knocking you down. Yeah, it's a completely different scenario. But when both men are engaging in the fight and they're both throwing back and forth, and one is landing clearly more shots than the other gentleman, and probably, in my eyes, when I watched the more devastating and powerful shots in the fight, I thought that had to lead to Gamebred, right? And rather than Diaz, even if he is walking forward, were you doing damage? You're controlling the fight, but are you doing damage? No, I don't think so. You can give it one way, but look at the other way, right? Like you said, scoring on the gloves doesn't count. I mean, I give it 97-93. I could take that scorecard. I could go 95 across the board all the way if they want to do a rematch, but
right.
Like, in my eyes, Masvidal won that fight. There was even worse robbery that night. I don't know if you got the ever chance that if you watched it or heard about it, but Shaq Foster got absolutely robbed.
Yes, he did.
In his spot. Like,
I heard about that.
It was absolutely terrible. It was 11-1 or a shutout. One guy's face was beat up, and then his face was clean. And these guys have a split decision, and one guy gives it, I think it was 96-92. That dude never won not even close to 4 rounds that fight. I mean,
criminal.
It was crazy.
Criminal.
So,
Devin, give us your take on
yes, criminal.
Take on both those. First, Masvidal, Diaz. I'm sure you watched the fight. So give me your take on that scoring right there, and then the other fight that John was talking about.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I agree with y'all. I could have had it 95 across the board also. You know what I mean? Kind of 95. I could agree with that. But 97-93, I feel like that scorecard went to the wrong person. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. We're in California. California. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Hometown decisions are real.
Yeah, they are. Maybe they were just trying to avoid the riot if Nate lost.
You gotta think. You gotta put into perspective. Also, is these judges are getting persuaded by, just like John said, the hometown advantage by all these, the whole crowd was for Nate Diaz, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
you could have seen it when he walked out. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah, I felt the energy through the TV that night. It was pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a great, just a great show put on. I'm really happy about how it turned out. I was excited for the card. I think having Carmel Moten, having, Armando Vargas on it, who I thought put on a wonderful performance, even though, Garcia was a dog in it. He fired back hard. He fired back well. I think he is a talented young, I didn't mean to say little, talented young man. They're shorter than me. I think that's why I said that. But I think he can get back on the horse. It looked to me like he could have been in a little bit better shape. And I think that's what kind of played the disc. But Armando Vargas, Devin Cushing, Carmel Moten, that's a heck of a card to put on for that one. And you guys did an amazing job. So, great job. Congratulations to you again, Devin.
Thank you, John.
Yeah. And then my last question for you, bud, is what is it that you I know some fighters want to be known for certain things, right? They want to be known for something. Some guys are like, Mickey Ward was known, you're going to be in a dog fight. Arturo Gatti was going to make you, you're going to be in a dog with Mayweather. You weren't going to hit him, right? Yep. Pacquiao was speed and punches and bunches. Yep. So everybody's known for something. What do you think you want to be known for? What do you think people are going to know you for when we see you at that upper echelon?
I want to.
The best jab in the business.
Yeah, I want to be known. Yeah, the best jab in the business is cool. You know what I mean? That's one of the main punches in boxing. You know,
it's
what
the most
saying?
important one.
But I want to be known for doing it all, man. Being able to do it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it's needed. When the things are needed. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Excellent. Great. I like that answer. That's the way. That's what the answer should be, because you got to be known for everything. Let's do it all,
man,
right?
I want to be everything in a bowl. I want to be that gumbo in a bowl. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The only thing I don't ever want to see, and this is just because I'm personally invested. I never want to see what you look like getting back from getting knocked down.
Yes, sir. Yep.
I don't ever want to see that. That'll make me cry.
I've had to do it before, and I've done it before, and won the fight.
Well, I've never seen it.
It was in the amateurs, but we don't want to do that.
I don't care about the amateur shit. That don't matter to me. I'm only talking about the pro shit since I've known you. So
you're right about that, Chris.
Like you said the other day, pros is a whole different shit.
Whole nother ball game, brother. Hey, you know what I say about amateur boxing and professional boxing? Two different sports.
My God.
Two different completely sports.
Yes.
Trust me on that.
Yes.
Trust me on that.
Thank you, Devin. Thank you, Devin. You heard it here first. The guy who
agrees with you.
Oh my God, 100%. You don't coach people the same way.
Nope. Two completely different sports, man.
And I'm not gonna lie, man. Like when I coach my fighters at the gym at Pete White's gym, even if they're fighting amateur, I don't think about fighting as an amateur style, right? I don't want to be all gas, no breaks, no defense, no nothing, forward, just volume, because that's what a lot of amateur style is.
That's what
you look at forward. It's all gas, no breaks. Let's throw as many punches as we can, and whoever backs up is the one that's going to end up losing, most likely, right?
Yep.
That's not the sweet science.
No.
That's not the sweet science. The sweet science is what you do.
Yes, sir.
It's what the professionals do. And if you add one more round to amateur, that style goes out the window.
Yes, it does.
Because you cannot last 4 rounds with all gas like that, because it just doesn't work that way.
Don't work that way.
And I agree with you so much when you said that, Devin. Thank you for saying that, because the game is different in pros. It's methodical. It's chess. It's strategic. It's sprinting and a marathon at the same time. Whereas literally amateur boxing is a direct 100-meter sprint.
Yes, it
How
is.
fast can you go for 3 rounds?
Dude, I just become best friend.
Good way to explain that, John.
Thank you. But yes, I agree with you 100%, Devin. And you see the cream rise to the top in the pros. A lot of guys can go all gas, no break, But you give that one more round, when they get into the pros, they all of a sudden start to change their style. They can't throw punches and bunches like that anymore. They have to now learn what we just said, the sweet science. And it's sometimes hard for them. Unless they've been to the upper echelon and fought in the internationals, or they've just been taught by consummate pros like yourself, Devin, your entire life. You've been working with pro boxers your entire life, not just amateurs, pros. So you can transition easier. Because you have that mental fortitude for one, and the understanding of boxing technical. You know what I mean? Whereas some amateurs can't switch. You see these great amateurs, they come over to pros and they're not. You see the upper echelon of pros come over and they're good. Upper echelon of amateurs, and they'll come over and they'll be solid, but they don't always turn out the way you think they're going to be. And you see that sometimes, and you see that coming out of the ranks, because it is two different sports and people don't quite get that. So Devin, you're the man for saying that. Thank you. And I'm sorry I went on a tangent.
Yes, sir, man.
It's okay, man. I think you guys just became best friends. That's fucking awesome.
We've chilled before.
Absolutely.
Me and John been tight, man. Me and John.
Yeah, I love it. Well, listen, Devin, man, we kept you here for a long time tonight. I don't want to keep you away from your family any longer.
I appreciate
John, do you have anything else before we cut Devin loose?
Hey, man, just let us know when you fight next, and we all about it.
You'll see it, brother. You'll see
I think it's going to be August 9th, man.
I
said August 9th, Island Fights. He smiled, man. So I think we're going to see him there. He only got a 5-day suspension from the state of California, which is just, standard kind of operating procedure. You were in a fight, you take 5 days off. I don't think he has a problem taking 5 days off.
That's
he's probably doing it didn't say no contact or anything. So he's probably right back in the gym working and training, because
where we at, man? Where we at? We probably right back in the gym.
Oh, there's Hazel.
We at the gym. I'm just in his office. You know what I mean? Gym's right outside.
Hi, Hazel.
Say hey, Chris. Say hey, Chris. Say hey, Chris and John.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, sweetie. You look great.
Say hey, John. She's shy.
All right. Well, listen, we'll let you go take care of the most important lady in the world.
Sure. And if I don't fight August 9th, man, I'll see you there, Chris.
Of course, I'll see you there.
We got big Dylan Kleckler on the card.
Dylan Kleckler on the card, man. Good to see him back in action.
And Dylan Cushing might be on the card.
Oh, snap. Dylan Cushing. Fight announcements here. Dean's going to be mad at you or mad at me for letting you do it. Fucking he might have just got me in trouble.
Man, Dean can't let all the big news out, man. He's got to let the little fish, you know what I mean?
Let Chris put it out sometimes. Let Boxing Bananas put it out sometimes. Share the love.
Something, man. Throw me a bone. I've worked for you since 2016. Just throw me a friggin' bone once in a while. That's all I ask, man. You know what I mean? Well, listen, man, you have a blessed night, man. So proud of you, the way you handled fight week and the way you handled the fight. Like I said, I thought you had a really good performance, but I'm never going to be as critical of you as you are. Even if you have a bad night, I'm still not going to be critical of you. I just got too much love for you, dude. But I'll tell you that
I'm glad everybody's saying that I look good on a bad night for myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So God bless y'all, man, and I appreciate y'all having me on, Chris and John. Thank y'all, man.
All right, man. Be
Thank
good,
you, buddy.
man.
Congratulations, good brother.
Tell Pops to sit alone. We'll see you guys August 9th.
Chris said love that.
Love, brother.
Peace.
All right.
Congratulations, guys.
Yep. Boom, 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 boom. Man, John, thanks for coming on tonight, dude. That made that so much more fun.
Oh, no. Thank you very much. And thank you for supporting Boxing Bananas from the get-go, man. We really appreciate that.
But we got to, man. Like I said, we all got to support each other. That's why I watch all the other shows, and a lot of time I'm sitting in my car because I drive Uber, so I can watch Dave and Elle in the afternoon and fucking waiting for rides to pop up at the airport. So I just sit there and go, comment. I think it's important. So I think we got to show the love for everybody and, really try to get Fight Bananas even bigger than it is. And it's grown rapidly. So, we just got to make sure we do everything we can to impact the growth the best way possible. So guys, that's the Professor John Radford. He'll be doing a Boxing Banana show with Ray one night this week. As soon as they know which night they're doing it, we'll definitely get the information out to you. Go watch the show. It's a lot of knowledge. That's why I watched the show. One, to support another Fight Bananas endeavor, but two, these guys know what they're talking about. And since I'm not the smartest guy in the world, especially when it comes to boxing, I've watched it, I've done ring announcing for it. It still doesn't mean I understand all the intricacies, and these guys do. So they share that with me, so I get educated and I get entertained because, like, they'll be doing something serious, and then I'll pop in the comments with the stupid question just to throw them off a little bit because that's what I do.
And you know us, we go down rabbit holes all the time. Like
fuck, they'll go down a rabbit hole. If you ask the right question, guys, they will go down the rabbit hole with you. And sometimes the tinfoil hats may come out, so you just never know. But
they might.
But Boxing Bananas is an absolutely great show. We appreciate them joining the Fight Bananas lineup. So we've got Dave and Elle tomorrow at 1:00. It's on the screen. We have Betting Bananas on Wednesdays, which they'll be talking about UFC Denver. Boxing Bananas, I put down here that on my crawl. That's on Thursdays. That bounces around a little bit, so that might change. We've got Coffee with Elle and Maddie on Sunday mornings. We've got the UFC watch-along parties for all the pay-per-views. And I think we're going to be doing an MMA recap show. Dave said something about that the other day. So we might have shows on 5-6 nights a week. So if you're a sponsor out there and you want to help us out and jump on the journey with us, reach out to me or Joe, or reach out to Dave Van Auken or any of the hosts. DM them on our Instagram or message us on YouTube or on our Facebook pages. And we can put together a deal where you could sponsor one show, you could sponsor all the shows, you could become a huge sponsor. We can customize and tailor fit it just to you and your budget. And, we want some people to come along on this journey with us, like HKAUSA.com. Use code bananas20, get 20% off gear. Is there any sponsors that you want to pop up there that I'm not popping?
No, I think, no, I mean, most of the ones that I know, there was one young lady, I forget her name. She was trying to, she got us HKA USA for the Fight Bananas and everything. And I forget her. I'm so sorry.
Something collabs.
Huh? Yeah, collabs. There you go. Like she was, she does stuff, so you can always reach out to her. But no, just anybody who wants to do it, like Christopher J said, man, we're one of the, I would say, fastest growing fight media
combat sports platforms in the world.
Absolutely. With people like, you yourself, Chris, Dave Van Auken just pushing it. Elle Dawson is amazing. Grant Dawson comes on there. He's awesome as well. I mean, he's
Maddie Levine.
Yep. And she's married to the Hall of Fame Karate Combat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
and there's even some other guys that do it that I don't remember their names,
there's a gentleman named
fight shows. Jonathan.
John. I want to call him John Rahman, but I might be saying his last name wrong. But John, he does a great job too. He's done interviews, with Dave and stuff like that.
The guy over from England, Keenan or Keelan.
Yep. Yeah, he does the post-fight shows and stuff like that. So we got a good little lineup, man. We're hitting all the angles in the combat sports world, dude. And it's going to keep growing, and I'm excited. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe for all of the shows. Follow Christopher J. If you want to follow myself, that's fine too. Follow at Fight Bananas, follow Boxing Bananas. Everything is we're just putting content out, which is from El Presidente Dave. He always said content is king, right? So that's what we're doing.
And now we're doing content collabs because we're bringing the Boxing Bananas and the KHR Christopher James together to do some stuff for you guys to make sure we deliver the best content to you, because that's what we want to do.
Yes, sir. So I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. And I do want one last thing.
Yeah, anything, bro.
I love that beard.
This beard?
Oh, it's pretty, bro. It's pretty. Keep it. It's so nice. Like, it's long, it's luscious. Look at that. I want one of those when I can grow it that way. Mine doesn't grow that way. I have to
listen. I couldn't even grow a beard till I was like 40, dude. It was fucking crazy. Like, I did
beautiful
puberty,
beard,
but if I shave it down low, which we got fight coming up August 9th, so this will all be gone. But what I do is between fights, I just let it go.
There you go.
That's why I'm wearing a hat today, because I let the hair go too, and I just didn't feel like fucking with it. And normally I never wear a hat during the show, but I kind of like it, and the headphones look good on it, so I might, do hats.
You could have picked a better team, but I feel you.
Oh man, why you got to bag on my
I'm just
team?
kidding. They're gonna be good this year,
on
bro.
the way out the door, it kicks my team right into cojones.
No, not at all. They're gonna be a top seed, and I think they're gonna do real well in the AFC East this year, bro. I think you're gonna be fine with it.
I'm hoping so. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers can last more than 4 plays this season, and that's really what it all hinges on. If he gets hurt, we're done. I mean, any chance we have, because Tyrod Taylor as our backup is another old guy, and he's not the answer. And I think we drafted a kid named Travis Jordan or something from Florida State, who was a great college quarterback, but he's still rehabbing from an injury, so he's not the answer. So it's always the same thing: the quarterback. We never get it. We never get it right. I don't know why, but fucking my team is cursed when it comes to that. It's probably Joe Namath's fault.
Nah, don't blame that guy. It's not his fault. His shin got destroyed.
He sold his soul to the devil to get us a Super Bowl win back then, and fucking he gave up our right to ever win one again, dude. So that's my tinfoil hat when it comes to the Jets fucking quarterback fucking situation. But on that note, boys and girls, again, this is the Professor John Radford. He's on Boxing Bananas. Check out the show. He's got all, and they'll answer all your questions. You put your questions up on the screen. They will answer everything. Put your comments up on the screen. Get you involved in the show. But that's it for all of us here tonight, kids. We appreciate you tuning in. Thanks to our guests, Nathan Maness, Niko Price, and Devin Cushing. Next week on the show, I'm going to have Brandon Michael Davis, who just signed a new contract with Gamebred. And I'm going to have Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship former 165 champion Elvin Brito, who's in pursuit of a title again. He fights in August in Kansas. We're going to talk to both of them and maybe one other guest. I'm still working on some stuff for you, trying to chase down Curtis Blades. Hopefully we'll get that to happen before we get to his fight at UFC 304. But that's it, boys and girls. Thank you always for being a part of my life and allowing me to be a part of yours for just a little while. It means more to me than I can ever put it into words. And that's it. Until next time, I am Christopher James, and you guys have been Cage Side. Peace out.